Do we live in a televised society? Well, that's the question for tonight, live on Architects of Humanity. I'm your host, Max Stout, and it brings to mind a book written by Neil Postman a little over 40 years ago. 1985, he wrote a book called Amusing Ourselves to Death. And the television has a lot to do with that. The radio as well, but the television more so. So when we think about that, with the television that went to the flat screen, to the portable models, to the basically the cell phone, now they want to plaster it to people's face. Matter of fact, people are looking forward to having the television plastered to their face so they can walk around thinking that they see cumulus clouds in the sky, but in reality, we see what surrounds them. The grid squares, invasion of the grid squares, the cameras, the things that a lot of movies tried to warn us about. They tried to tell us that something was going on, while everybody else had bread and circuses as the scientists and commanders watch from behind the glass wall and look at everybody being entertained, distracted. One of the three things, the zoo, the lab, the farm, it's what we're in. So today it is, do we live in a televised society? Mr. X, what's up? Good to see you, man.
Great to see you. Great topic. You always come up with beautiful topics, man. I mean, well, I don't know what the word is, but really topics that make you think. So I applaud you for that. Great job.
Thanks, man.
Hmm.
Yeah, the televised society. There's a really good book. I think the audio book is free on YouTube. Came out about 40 years ago, written by Neil Postman, Amusing Ourselves to Death. And he presents a point about American public discourse, how it's been trivialized by the rise of television, transforming serious political, educational, and religious life into entertainment, which I would say it goes even before television, but television definitely put it on steroids. I mean, it's not enough for people when you look at them that want to watch television. They want to paste the television to their face,
Hmm.
and that would be the goggles when people are very excited about having virtual reality. It's like they can't even deal with reality, but they want virtual reality.
Yes. Yeah, I believe we're all going to want that, to be honest with you. We're all headed into that. I'm just keeping it real. It's going to be too powerful to resist. I really think it's going to be.
I
Um,
mean, part of me says if everybody's wearing the goggles, I think it makes not wearing them that much better to where I can sit and look at nature if there's any nature left to look at.
exactly. That's what I'm saying. Let's look at it realistically. The data centers aren't going to stop being built. They're just going to get more and more and larger, and they're gonna probably it's probably not gonna be much nature to see. But you put on the goggles, you can go anywhere in the world and go on a hike somewhere virtually and really feel like you're in a hike. See, lost civilizations, go into the deep jungles. Who knows? I mean, with drone technology, it could take us to. It would be able to create a virtual world that into places of this earth that we've never seen before. Um, that would be impossible to get to. Deep into the Amazon jungle or deep into some ancient archaeological sites, and you feel like you're really there. I know when I tried on those goggles from the Apple, I can't remember what the name of it was, but it was pretty darn good. You looked. I was on a beach in the northwest, and you look around. It's like all around you, the beach. You see you just turn your head, and you see another part of the beach, just like you're there. So I can't imagine once they perfect the technology, what it's going to be like. I think it's really going to be feel like you're really there.
I mean, I wonder why would people that don't even want us to live in comfort right now,
Hmm.
that enjoy to see people in turmoil, why would they want to people to have anything like that? Like how you're saying, if they have drones that go to the Amazon, why would they show us? Like they're only going to show us what they want us to see, really. and
That's
the
true.
real. Yeah, so it really makes you wonder. It's sort of like saying, wait a minute, you've been mean. Why are you going to be nice now? And if
But are
we,
they being nice? They know you got you strapped to a chair or strapped to some. Basically, I think I somehow I vision a tube, like a little capsule, like you'd be in that could rotate, so you could feel like you could walk in that virtual reality. So they kind of have you right where they want you. If you think about it, physically, you're right where they need you. You're in a
well,
tube. You're in a capsule.
yeah, they wouldn't have to strap you to the chair. People are willing to strap themselves. That's the point of it. It has to be voluntarily.
Oh, it's all
Safe.
voluntary.
Yeah,
Yes.
good to see you, man. Yeah, so they it's like Aldous Huxley was saying about the concentration camps. It's not good enough to stay in it and, not rebel. You have to build it. You have to support it. You have to fight for it. You have to like be 100%. If the concentration camp were to be destroyed, you would rebuild it. And Postman's book about people becoming distracted by trivial media, it's similar to the world of Aldous Huxley's Brave New World.
Hmm.
Um, Rather than suffering from the direct censorship of like George Orwell's 1984, they give them the painless pharmaceutical concentration camp without walls. So the medium becomes the metaphor. The dominant technology of an era shapes its public discourse. And that's something people need to remember. That's a very important thing, that dominating technology of any era shapes its public discourse. So we can look throughout history and chart this,
Hmm.
especially in the last century, 2 centuries. As society shifts from print to visual media, television, the culture shifted from a rational text based focus to a passive visual one. When you're reading something, you can stop and question what you're reading. You can think about it. When you're watching television, there is no questions. There's no talking back to it. It's not going to answer you. So you're being filled with something, whether it be propaganda, being filled with knowledge, education, or a distraction, entertainment. So we have that. Now we see this on steroids because we have the portable device, the device that can basically be strapped to the face, and
Hmm.
a person won't be able to see reality for what it is. Well, even right now, we're not seeing the true face. But with the television, the culture shifts and the entertainment becomes much more important over substance. The television, it requires everything to be entertaining. So they could say it's successful. The news, the politics, religion, they're now presented as infotainment. I mean, we saw the religious channels. I mean, look at the 700 Club, right?
Oh yeah.
Uh, I mean, that just brutal, man, just brutal. I mean, you talk about some weird stuff, man. Pat Robinson, I think, was the guy.
Yeah, he was. He was the guy.
Yeah, and the spectacles now are designed for amusement rather than serious engagement. The declining rationality, with this televised society. It's you wonder, you say, how do I even begin to speak to somebody about this? It's like they're so into the matrix, they're plugged in, especially with declining rationality. The
Hmm.
quick image, driven nature of TV destroys any ability to follow complex logical points, which require the slow processing of written text. When you read something and you're not rushed to read it, you can think about it. You can discern what it is you're reading. Like Carlin made a good point. He said it's not about reading, it's knowing what you're reading, questioning. Very important to question what you read. The now, now this, the phenomena of that. News items on TV are presented in rapid successions. They're linked by the implied phrase "now this," and we see this all over YouTube, the internet. Now this, oh, something happened and she did this or he did this, without even implying anything that is happening in the video, just basically to get the person to click it, playing on their curiosity, their anxiety. And this format eliminates context. It makes information irrelevant and preventing viewers from forming a coherent, lasting understanding of any issues. And that we do see. I don't know if people complained, but that was it was all over the videos, and then this, and then something happened, and people would be inclined to click it through anxiety and curiosity. It was bait. The image politics has become about candidate image, charisma, visual appeal, rather than their policies, their ideas, the intellectual capacity. And it's never really been too much about that. You look at politics, it's mostly about bullying. But Orwell versus Huxley, The Warning. Postman, the guy who wrote the book Amusing Ourselves to Death, he contrasts the two classic dystopian authors. Orwell, 1984, feared a tyrannical government that would ban books, burn them, conceal the truth. Huxley, they don't need to burn books. They create a society where no one will want to read it.
Exactly. I agree with that part. That's the part I agree with.
Yeah, that is much more dangerous than just burning books. Because burning books, people are still going to want to know what you burned.
Yeah.
Or if you eliminate that thought, that goes into a higher level of control to say, print what you want. They'll never read it.
Yeah.
Seems that that's where we're at, where people love their oppression. We see that with the politics now, trading critical thought for constant trivial distractions. The author, he also brought in that Huxley's vision was proving correct. We are amusing ourselves to death, which is the name of his book, Postman.
Well, I think one way to look at it too, because I think we have something in common here. A lot of movies I see are crap, to be honest with you. Even that includes the TV shows. I just can't get into it. But I know for a fact there's a lot of other people, they really get into this stuff. And they love it. I mean, it's like one guy, there was one movie that was just looked so stupid. And the guy's telling me all about the movie, but breaking it down like so detailed. And it's like, I'm looking at that guy. It's like, this is crap. You know what I mean? It's just some stupid movie. You know what I mean? But there's a lot of people out there. They love this stuff. I mean, so we can't, just because we think it's stupid, don't assume that that's the case for the majority of people. The majority of people, they're like zombies. They love it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they definitely, they are. Yeah, the zombies love it, man. The zombies, there is no disinformation age for the zombies. They're inundated with irrelevant information. And like we said yesterday, not all information is valuable.
Yes.
The public loses the ability to distinguish important issues from trivial ones. And we see this clearly. The information to action ratio. Televised media, it provides massive amounts of information, but very few opportunities for viewers to act upon.
Yeah.
Leading to a sense of mental impotence, I would call it.
I mean, I got family members calling me up saying, hey, you saw what Trump did today? Oh, now they're going to be angry at him for what he said. And it's like, no, I didn't see it. And I don't think it really matters. It's a big show. But they don't get it. They think it's serious stuff. It's just, so that we're looking for the survivors. That's all we're doing out here,
Yeah.
Whatever they're doing, it works. That's one thing. We may look at it as stupid as survivors, but it does work. It's very effective. Just like evolution, the live evolution is very effective. People eat it up.
Very hard to go against that. People are so they're so brainwashed. They're so They've been, yeah, it's crazy, man. RIG, Rest in Gematria. Learn about you from Zach. Great channel. You have a good voice, bro. Thank you. I appreciate that, man. We got the link pinned to the top of the chat if anybody wants to hop on. Really appreciate you. And much thanks to Zach, man. Yeah, great.
Zach's the man. He's great.
Yeah, definitely, man. Thank you. Thank you, Rest in Gematria. RIG. Cool name, man. Yeah, this is when I look into it, Postman writes this book, Amusing Ourselves to Death. And there's a few others that talk about this. Of course, the 1984 book by George Orwell, The Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. And they both talk about the disinformation age in different ways, inundated with irrelevant information. The public loses any ability to distinguish issues that are important. The information to action we spoke about. It creates mental impotence. Advertising over truth, that's a big one when we think about it. Commercials we see everywhere promote a sense of self-therapy and consumerist joy, basically, not the truth about the products. So that's a big one because a lot of products we see have been recalled. They've caused serious problems, health implications for people. I think it was Johnson and Johnson had a lawsuit for their talc baby powder. There were some ingredients that were causing basically health implications. And somebody being sued for stuff like that, when you look at the mental impotence of the society to think critically, these people were making a jab. They were making an inoculation. The same people that were going through a lawsuit for one of their products. Nobody cared. Nobody cared. I mean, still till this day. I mean, I see people walking around with masks. I don't even know what to say.
Oh, I see him too. Too.
It's like, I wonder. Sometimes I really wonder. I say, man, what is going on? But Postman, Neil Postman, who wrote the book, he has 7 questions for any new technology. What problem does it solve? Which is very important. What problem does it solve? So any new technology, we got to think, what problem does it solve? Whose problem is it? That's another question he asks. What new problems does it create? That's an important question. Very important. What new problem does it create? So in other words, when we see technology like the automobile, industrial revolution, or like some call it the industrial pollution, it causes pollution. So what new problems does it create? Pollution. What problems does it solve? Well, some of these inventions solved menial labor, like it lightened the load in some sense under the disguise of making it easier, but it actually, when you look at it, made things harder and gave pollution on top of that. So we have, what problem does it solve? Whose problem is it? So the problem that it solves. And what new problems does it create? Those are 3, but he asks 7. Which people will be most impacted by it? Very important. Which shifts in economic and political power will result because of it? And what unintended uses will it have? So like when they say they have a technology, but they're not going to use it for bad stuff, it could be, it makes you, like Palantir, and all of this surveillance stuff. They were saying, oh, we don't want it to be used, the AI, to target humans. But what's it being used for? To target humans. Right. So that is the 6th question that he posed. What unintended uses will it have? So if anybody wants to look at the book, that's why I'm not saying everything. I could check it out. RIG says, ask a person who took the jam if they would put something in their body for one of the most sued companies. Yeah, exactly, man, for the wrongful death thing, and they don't even want to ask that question. They really don't. And that's a great thing to ask them. Rick James, good to see you. He says, I'm late to class, hot pot with my kids and G son. Good to see y'all. Hey neighbor, Sig 310. Always a pleasure, brother. Always, man. Any person who took the jab, they would put something in it, ask him, okay, yeah, for this, it's the same comment from before. Yeah, yeah. When I think about that, right? I think they would. This is how brain dead the majority of society seems to be. They're
Mhm.
so televised. I actually heard some people talking today in a bookstore, and they were saying if they don't watch the news, they feel lost. They
Mhm.
feel like, how do they know anything? And there was nothing. I said, I'm not even going to get involved in this. I got what I needed to get, and I left. I thought about that. I said, wow. And these were women that were talking to each other. And I was just like, man, I was like, I wanted to say, so don't you think about what the news is saying, like critically? And one of them had said, it was a group of them, oh, well, they need to watch the weather, the news to know what to wear, to how to dress, So
Mhm.
it's like, I mean, yeah, it's a tough one. It's a real tough one. It's like, having it's the beginning of the end, basically, to say if you're asking the television what you should do. I mean, where's your common sense at? I mean, yeah, okay, somebody might say, well, I don't want to wear something too heavy. Well, bring a light jacket. If
Mhm.
you're going to wear something that you might end up being cold or something, bring other stuff. Now some people might say, well, I'm traveling light, I just handbag. Okay, cool. You got to prepare yourself. You got to prepare yourself. They have a few more questions that other people have created from this, like what is something you've changed your mind about recently? So that's a deep thought. If you could instantly master any skill, what would it be? What's the highlight of your week so far? What are you looking forward to right now?
Mhm.
What little things have brought joy to you in recent times? And that's a very important one. And what do people misunderstand about you? Asking that question can help you grow, because you might say, well, if they misunderstand this about me, how can I clarify myself so they won't misunderstand it? These are very important questions to analyze ourselves. If you took the arm tap, you're now a great antenna for the internet bodies. Yeah, who knows? I mean, the nanotech that we spoke about is off the handle. And people, you can't really talk to a tap zombie. The tap zombies are just, yeah. What book did you purchase? I'm talking about the book Amusing Ourselves to Death. So it's a book written by Neil Postman, Amusing Ourselves to Death. You can listen to the audiobook for free on YouTube. But we'll be talking about other books too. I found out tonight my daughter is a SOP dealer at Paris Casino. They won't allow masks. Oh, wow. Really? Okay, for dealers. Okay. Wow. Wow.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, yeah. So yeah, the book, that was the book, Neil Postman. Another, what do people misunderstand about you is a really good question to ponder upon, because it allows us to be understood better. It allows communication to be more genuine, because the they say the biggest distance between two people is a misunderstanding. That goes beyond any physical distance. And if you can give your younger self one piece of advice, they always ask this question, what would it be? What are some of your most fulfilling connections? What do they feel like? What's one way you want to grow over the next few months? That's something that needs to be asked and can be checked on in a few months. Yeah, so those are just a few, and those aren't Neil's questions from the book. Those are just questions that people can ask for themselves. Um, but with the amusing ourselves to death, uh, Postman criticizes television, the medium of information that, regardless of its content, causes Americans to understand all of public discourse through the lens of entertainment. That's the crazy thing.
Hmm.
Everything gets reduced down to entertainment, which is sad because now there is no serious mode of thought. And if there's no serious mode of thought, then what is the purpose? So if we look for questions that cause clarity, let's say, why do we exist? We've asked that question many times,
Yes.
or, somebody, if they have, and if they're an entrepreneur, it could be, why am I in the business? Or why am I in business? But why do we exist is very important. How do we behave? That's very important. I don't even think people have thought of asking themselves that question.
Hmm.
How do we behave? We can look at how others behave, but how do we behave?
Yes.
What are my values and how do I live them out? Um, what do we do? What do I do? So it's like, okay, yeah, we say this, but what do I actually do? What do we actually do?
Hmm.
How will we succeed? Or how will I succeed? That I ask myself a lot, but there's other people that
Well,
may
that's an
just.
important question. How do you succeed? I mean, is success accumulating money and wealth? And don't get me wrong, I'd love to have money. You know what I mean?
Mhm,
Uh, but is that the ultimate? Are we here to? Is that our purpose? To accumulate as much wealth as we can before we die? Is that our sole purpose of being? And it's a relevant question because we know this life is temporary, and if it continues onward, then most likely that's not the case.
mhm.
It's something else.
Yeah, no, you're right about that. Um, this is, I don't think it's about accumulating only wealth. I think it's about
Hmm.
at least being financially independent. Most people will be stable, uh, but independent where you don't have to work. That's a big key because in the midst of that, you might be able to have time to contemplate existence, which is extremely important.
Sure, sure. But do we control that solely on our own merit, our own abilities, independence, and wealth? I'd have to say no. I'd have to say no. Because if you grow up if you're living in a country right now where the inflation rate is in the triple digits, then it doesn't matter how hard you work, you're still going to be poor. Um, I mean, you could live in a place like Korea or Venezuela, work your butt off. I mean, there's some rich people there too, but they have it in
Mhm,
American dollars. But our wealth is still based on the value of the currency that we work for.
mhm.
So there's a lot of variables involved in that, independence and so forth. So I don't know.
Yeah. Um, there are some criticisms about the book, Amusing Ourselves to Death, um,
Mhm.
where the mass media, specifically television, has degraded public discourse by transforming, as we know, the serious political and civic issues
Hmm.
into superficial entertainment. But Postman warns that society is willingly surrendering to consumerism.
I think I have to disagree with that. I have to be honest with you.
Okay.
Because it's assuming that prior to television, we were, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm interpreting it wrong, that we were more politically astute or more aware. And I have to disagree because if you look at the times in ancient history, especially in America, we had people, they said all men were created equal, but obviously that wasn't the case. We had men who were certainly not created equal, who had less rights, who were
Mhm.
oppressed. So were those people really the brilliant minds that this author says they are, and that we became dumbed down by television? I don't know. I think they were pretty stupid back then too, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you have a very good point. I think that I don't think he's saying that they were geniuses and that we got dumbed down specifically in that way. Like he's saying that the tool of television, it it turned it into the entertainment. It turned serious stuff into amusement. So like the critics of him is saying that he romanticizes print culture.
Hmm.
But printing, when you read something off a paper, it's much different. The energy, the feel, the whole experience is different from when you read it off of something electronic. Another thing is that you can't delete it as easy. The electronic thing is popping up. You don't, if it somehow doesn't work, now where's that literature, the
Sure,
book?
but doesn't it depend also on the literature itself in the book? Like, say you go back over 100 years and you were reading Darwin's the origin of species and the natural selection of the preferred races. Would that be a
Mhm.
great read? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, reading it back then, like, what are you saying? That reading it back
Well,
then would be,
what I'm saying is that was something that's old literature going back much further than the advent of entertainment, the radio or television, but it's still garbage. You know what I'm
mhm,
saying? Even
mhm.
though it's written, it's I think it's more about what literature. It applies more specifically to the type of literature you're reading than the
Yeah,
book
yeah.
itself. You know what I'm saying?
No, definitely, definitely.
Mm.
Um, Rest in gematria. Oh, he's talking about the circle square. I'm glad, man. Yeah, that picture, man. I was trying to make some stuff, and I just got so caught up because I wanted to put the picture and show that I wanted to make this to where somebody is on the right looking at the direction of the square shadow, and then somebody's on the left looking at the object, but then also seeing behind the object the triangular shadow. And
Mm-hmm.
then somebody may be looking from the top down to see the circular shadow. So when we explain this, it's a lot more easily explained. So,
Right.
like, because somebody might mistakenly say, well, I see three things, and that explains the three shadows. And it's like, no, no, it doesn't work that way. You're
Mm-hmm.
you're only going to be able to see one perspective, so because you can't be standing in all three areas, you can't be above it, you can't be on the right and the left at the same time. You can either be one or the other, and that lets us see, okay, wow, if we have to work together, we have to work together, put our minds together, like, you know create the third mind. How do we create another mind, a mind that will actually solve problems that we can't solve by ourselves? And
Yes.
when we look at these puzzles and we say, wow, the square on the the small square on the right seems a little darker than the one on the left, but when we cover it, we see they're both exactly the same color.
Mm.
And then we see this with other things, like we saw the extremely strong illusion of the grays, and we
Right.
think, wow, the different colors. But when we spread the line across, we start to say, wow, these are two exactly same colors. But because of the lighting on top and the shadow below, we see something totally different.
Right. That's the conclusion we came to last night, right? About that. It's the
Hmm.
lighting and the shadow that
Yeah,
the difference in
exactly.
visual effect. Yeah.
Yeah. And even, we see like somebody could look at this and say, yeah, the one on the right, the small square, looks a little darker. But then when we cover it, we see that they're exactly the same color. And these experiments are good to let people see that, hey, we don't know everything. We're
Hmm.
seeing this from a different perspective. And there was, I was actually going to make a thumbnail for the stream of this. This was a picture that of a spy drone. Some people say it's not real, but actually a lot of people have like they have
Right.
articles and stuff like that. The picture is over 20 years old.
Oh, okay.
And now there are things that you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. um, Rick James says personal success comes in a lot of ways. It really does. It really
Hmm.
does, man. Perspective of everything. My uncle did the PepCon fur investigator. He got 10 witnesses and got 10 colors of the fire. Okay. Yeah. constantly looking at these different things and saying, am I seeing what I am seeing? Is that the whole picture? Like this one, we see
Mm-hmm.
if somebody's looking, and this is a good way of looking at that other picture spread out, where you only see one shadow from a perspective. So somebody would say, it's a triangle. Somebody else would say it's a circle. Somebody else would say it's a square. And if we put this in the perspective of not seeing the object, then we would say, wow, okay, you see the shadow of the square, but you don't know where the object is casting the shadow. You would very much assume the object was square. But knowing what we know about how things can cast different shadows um, lets us speculate. And now, if the three people put their knowledge together, hey, I see a circle, but only when I look at it from the top down. I see a square when I look at it from this angle. I see a triangle from the other angle. What could it be? Now we can do tests. Now we can try to figure it out. And it can go even deeper than that. Like somebody had made a picture where on the bottom right, it can cast 6 different shadows. If you're looking at it from angles in between the 3 basic angles, left, right, and from above, you'd say, okay, what happens if I look at it from a little bit in between the left and right, and a little bit above, the left? And again, we start to gain more knowledge. We start to say, hey, you know what? This is what learning is about. This is
Right.
where, yeah, we're thinking. We're not immediately coming to conclusions of saying, oh, I saw a square shadow, so it's definitely a square. Everything is square, and that's what it is. And we know that not to be true.
I mean, I wonder about some of these ancient structures, these statues that we've seen, because they say in the fourth dimension you can see what's inside of the object. Like if you just see a box, we could see the box, a closed box, but in the fourth dimension we could see what's inside the box. And you
Mhm.
wonder about these ancient structures, if some of these statues, if they had something put inside the statue that can be seen from another realm. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I remember that one with the Anunnaki, not the Anunnaki, but the Sumerians. They were holding a bag. It's like maybe there's something inside the bag that
yeah,
the soul put in there. Who
yep,
knows?
yeah. The bag that goes across many, many cultures. It
Hmm.
really goes across many cultures. It's like they a lot of people wonder about that. The fact that the bag, yeah, it could be carrying some type of technology. It could be. I mean, it's a puzzle. You know,
It is.
it's a puzzle. I mean, but on the note of shadows, on how it casts
Hmm.
different shadows, like a structure, what you wouldn't think, you would say, okay, that square shadow must be casted by something square. But there's also secrets in the shadow. I've noticed that you can't. The secrets in the shadow actually is something that looks like junk, but is actually art, a message somehow.
Mm.
Like in this one, I think I showed them a while back. Like you look at the objects, they look like just garbage,
Yeah,
but it perfectly reflects a shadow of a woman on the right and I think a man on the left.
that's incredible. I don't know how
Right?
they did that.
Uh, Amazing artists, amazing. And RIG is right. Teach this to young kids and watch the difference in critical thinking. Absolutely. Absolutely. It opens the mind where children, teenagers, even adults look at this and they say, wait a second, if you look at this, you're seeing what looks to be like almost junk, but it is the message is in the shadow that is reflected. You say, wait a minute, it's reflecting a shadow that's perfect.
Yeah.
like a real shadow of a person. It looks like
Even the hair. Look at the hair, the way it is on the people. It's just like,
yep.
what the heck?
It's amazing. It is literally amazing. I mean, it's almost unbelievable when you think
It is.
about it.
It
It's
really is.
almost unbelievable. Somebody would say, "Well, wait a minute, where's that coming from?" You know, it's like it's
Hmm.
coming from that right there, man. You know, it's like that's what it is.
But
And
that's going
there's
from, oh, I'm sorry.
no, go ahead.
I was just saying, isn't that what going from 3D to 2D, the difference in the form?
Yes, exactly. 3D, third dimensional sculpture making a second dimensional picture.
Yeah.
And there's another one. Now this again, how we know light source has a lot to do with it. So the light source is coming from where we're looking at it. The light source is coming from that
That's a good point.
direction.
That's
But
a
as
very
you
good
get,
point.
yeah, the light definitely. This one, you see the lights right behind it.
Yeah, I wonder if that makes an influence on what would show in the
Oh,
shadow.
definitely,
Okay.
definitely
Yeah.
with the shadow. Yeah,
So the
definitely.
light of where it's pointing at is
Yeah.
just as important as the object
I
itself.
mean, you look at something like this and the genius of this. I mean, because this is the silhouette of the woman is
Hmm.
exquisite down to the eyelash. And you look at this and you say, "Holy smokes, man.
Yeah,
Matter and light and shadow is not what we really think it is." I mean,
I agree.
these people are taking it to an art form.
Yes.
The shadow, the art of the shadow, it's really, yeah, it has me like, holy
But that
smoke.
says something about the power of light. Depending on where it's pointed at, it's going to reflect something completely different. You know, I'm sure if it was on the bottom, it would look completely different, the shadow.
Yeah,
But the
yeah,
fact that it did it from the side, it created like another object just appeared that looked perfect.
yeah,
So,
yeah. It definitely it has yeah, it has the whole I think when they create this, like some of them will put it in they'll have like I think computers and stuff might help them with some
mhm.
of it, but regardless if a computer helps them or not, they're still, it's like somebody telling you reading a schematic on how to build something. And then of course you can take it to the next level by experimenting and you know doing other things. There's some, I'm looking for a couple of others that
I wonder if they had the light shining there first before they built the object and just crafted it until the shadow that they wanted came out. I'm just wondering how they did it.
there, yeah, yeah, no, that definitely, it's it makes you wonder. It definitely makes you wonder. There's a girl that actually does some of these she takes cardboard and she well, there's a guy, he actually I'm trying to see if I can, which picture I can get that's better. The girl that actually does the pictures with she did a picture of the Joker by ripping up cardboard, like cutting
Hmm.
it, shredding it, and stuff like that. Looking for the picture now, and it's so amazing. And she has videos too. I saw her stuff a while ago, last year or the year before. Never really saved it, but this is a picture of her ripping up the cardboard is ripped up, and it reflects a picture of the Joker
Wow.
on the wall. So we see that she is basically a shadow artist.
Hmm.
Um, these are when I think about it, it's just like, wow, these people really put time and effort into these things, and they're amazing. They really are amazing. I think, like, art, when you think about it, it has a way of opening the mind.
Yes.
And if children and teens were just allowed to explore without having to hear a bell that just, it's scary. Imagine working on a piece of art and it's quiet and you're having like a really great session, and then as you're really getting into it, the bell goes off. Okay, you got to go to English.
Yep.
I mean, that's like a total distraction. It's like,
It,
and then even learning English or math, as soon as you start to get into, dang, okay, you got to go to this. It's like, what the heck is
I've
going
actually had
on?
nightmares about that, you know, back, and not specifically when I was in school, but just being in school and forgetting I was supposed to go to a class. Like I had a class that I never went to because I just forgot I had it, and I didn't
Mhm.
skip the whole year. And it's just like I think there is some trauma to that. That whole system of the bell and moving, and just like you said, it's like rats, from here to
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
There's a lot of trauma that we don't even know that we have,
Hmm.
that we still need to heal from. Some of us will die with the trauma. And even worse, a lot of us will die without even knowing we had the trauma. So we're experiencing the trauma and not even knowing. And Carl
Yeah.
Jung had put that, he goes, until you understand the shadow side, he goes, you'll think that everything in life is fate. He goes, you have to understand the subconscious because now you'll start to see it further. Um, Mark, good to see you. He says, that's a great point about the bell, MD. We've all had that moment. Yeah, yeah, I've really, Pavlov's dog. But there's also pictures of Pavlov's humans. So a lot of people, we've been told, we know how the government lies excessively. I mean, the lies are just like on a level where, I mean, sometimes you don't even know what to say. Uh, I'm trying to see if I can find one of the pictures because I had a picture with Pavlov's dog, but I also had it with Pavlov's human. Pavlov. Let me see. Hmm. Wow, I just had it the other day. I was looking at it. Oh brother, yeah, it's
Give
I'll
me a minute. I'll
try.
be right back. Yeah.
The what?
I'm just gonna take a minute break. 1 minute.
Yeah, yeah, sure. Yeah, the Pavlov dog, he just got me thinking of that. Rick James, I think it was James. Um, and that, it's got me thinking like these pictures, oh, maybe there's a reason I can't find it right now. Maybe it doesn't need to be found. Sometimes things, I look at it in that type of way. Yeah, Rick James says Pavlov's dog, but Pavlov humans are there too. They they were doing those experiments and they're horrific. They cut the hole in the person's cheek and would make them starve until they would salivate when they ring the bell, every time they go to feed them. Very horrific stuff, man. I mean, to the point where it's like you wonder like how it's like humans did this, it just yeah, it had me kind of wondering uh when they say civilization, I'm still searching for it. I'm like, where is the civilization? I just don't see it. Maybe maybe I'm not that mentally equipped to see it, but if it exists, it's like, wouldn't it let's see if I can upload these pictures of Pavlov's. Just gonna delete some of the other ones. So I have a little more room. StreamYard only allows me a certain amount to I had a couple of my thumbnails I kept, like, is history a movie? We see the Revolutionary War, scene one, the American Revolution, and basically the white picket fence is the military behind everything. They're always lurking behind the curtain. But other illusions that I've shown before, like real strong illusions, like this one, you would think the horizontal lines are crooked. They are straight. So the horizontal lines in this picture are straight. If you squint and you move back a little bit, squinting is the key. If you squint in the right way, you'll see that the lines are straight, even if you squint and you back up. But if you hold a piece of paper up to it, you'll see that they're exactly straight. It's unbelievable, but it's true. They're as straight as the straight lines on this checkerboard. Anybody can check it. And these checkerboards, these straight lines that make up these cubes, can be made to look like they're not straight. Nothing changed except putting balls on it. And now they look bent. And if you remove the balls, you see that it's straight. It's the same grid. What we see as reality is very different from what reality is, and that was just demonstrated in that particular. Just trying to see if I can find this now. In that particular thing. Oh wait, I think it was on here. No, it was here. Okay, so these are Pavlov, and I think Rick James for bringing that up, because it's funny that you brought that up. I was just looking at it the other day, and the experiments, yeah, the experiments are kind of horrific. I thought I had the ones with the dog too. So yeah, just these two here. So I'm putting in two. Oh, I left that up there. Let me pull that back down. This was the square, and then it looks like it's not square when you put the balls on it. So you're not even changing anything except putting on the purple balls and the white balls in a certain positioning that makes the eye actually look at it like it's bent. But when you take the balls off, you see it's the same straight lines. But as what Rick James brought up about Pavlov's dog, here's one of Pavlov's humans. They cut the hole into the person, and they were doing these experiments on them, and it was really it was horrific to say the least. Um, it really makes me wonder, man. It really makes me wonder. This, like I said before, this is either a zoo, a lab, or a farm. And actually, it seems to be all three. Seems that we're in the zoo and we're observed as we're being what seems to be experimented on with the food, what's happening in the air, what's put in the water, the soil. Remember, Love Canal, they built a town on top of a toxic dump, and people were getting like serious illnesses. I mean, the story of Love Canal in New York is just tells you, it gives you a wake up call. And then the farm, kind of like when the kids were on the conveyor belts in that video. Uh, you know, it from the movie The Wall, when they're on the conveyor belt falling into the meat grinder. And these were school kids. Rick James says somehow telepathy works, maxed out. Yes, it does. It definitely does. The fact that I looked at that picture today and yesterday, I was going through my pictures to decide, maybe making a video or something. And then you brought that up, I'm just like, that's exactly. It's like a sign. It's like a way. It makes me wonder about the theory on time, with the future traveling back to the present to create the past. So the present is creating the past, but what is the present being created from? And that could be from the future, possible.
I was reading
It's
about
just
that a little bit today, and they said that when time viewed from the fourth dimension, when looking at ourselves, when we look at people, it would be more like our present time would be a point on a grid map, like a block, and basically like a string, like a worm-like figure, us moving forward in time. But the future would be out there, but it'd be another block ahead of us of where we currently are.
But now, what would be in the block? The one block. That's the
Oh, that would
question.
be the present time. If we were in that one block, that would be our present
Yeah,
time.
but now the different days and stuff. How is that sectioned off in the block?
Oh, the different days. Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know that it is. It would just that exact presence. I guess would be going down to the nanosecond. I'm guessing one block. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, like, okay, you got a block. How, like, you have a calendar, you can see the different days. How do I see the different days in that block?
I guess like one day we would be made up of a certain amount of blocks in a 24-hour period. Whatever each block represents, whatever the time is, the amount of time in that
Hmm.
block. You would use that and calculate it to 24 hours for one day.
See, it gets a little
Yeah. No easy
confusing. So that
explanation.
makes me, I don't know, did you read that or somebody told it to you?
No, I was just reading about it. It's kind of like
Mhm.
Googling it. You know what I'm saying? It
Yeah,
says
because,
not now, no moving now. The present moment is just a specific coordinate, like a point on a grid.
well, all right. Now, how that can be disproven, and maybe I'm wrong,
Well, this is viewed from a
but
four.
the fact that we're seeing time pass, we're
Yeah,
seeing things change. So, what is the dot? That static dot doesn't seem to nothing static seems to exist with the passage of time.
yeah. Well, this is time viewed from a fourth dimension. This is a 4D perspective of the view of time. The view of time looks like a film strip, basically, from beginning to end.
Okay.
Hmm. And so our life would look like an instance from birth to death, basically, and
Okay.
it'd be able to be viewed as one. I guess that's what they're claiming, the fourth dimension, a view from the fourth
Well,
dimension.
now, if that is the grid or the linear, like you were saying, the time frames for somebody's life, right?
Hmm.
We'd have to be looking at that from something further back than the same fourth dimension. It's like putting your hand up to your face. You got to pull it back to see it. So would we be observing it from the fifth dimension, which is possibly able to manipulate that time?
What they say in the fifth, there's not just one timeline, there's multiple timelines.
Yeah.
So one person could have multiple different timelines. From viewed from the fifth, you know.
I mean, it's possible. It is. I mean, it could either be different timelines
Hmm.
or the ability that maybe even plus the ability to change the timeline. Like if you see a timeline from birth to death, if there's another timeline, I guess it would be infinite timelines, and each one has a different outcome.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it'd be infinite or not. But what they said was just multiple different ones
Hmm.
viewed from five.
Or
Like in one life you're a sports star, and in the other life you're a janitor. In the other life, you
or
could
it
be.
could be like how you're saying
Hmm.
the block. But if you want to change it, it's like a video game. You play the game,
Hmm.
you run to the left, but now when you go to play it, when you go to run the time simulation, you run to the right. So it's like an active thing, possibly.
Hmm.
This is all speculation. You already know it's crazy because we know how a lot of the people who believe in the pseudoscientific establishment thinking that they believe in science when it's not actually science. When remember when they were saying trust the science?
Hmm.
You don't have to trust science. Science doesn't work on trust.
Right.
Work on fact, on technical facts,
What you can prove in a lab and what you can repeat. Yeah.
and continuously, like the aeroplane, right?
Right.
I mean, it's not hard to set up these mental experiments, but with all of the distractions, I could see it being almost impossible.
Oh, of course.
I mean, we saw.
But I think you're on the right track with the shadow figures and everything like that. That is definitely on the right track to opening up something. It's like you
Hmm.
got to keep pushing and banging and trying different areas. You know what I'm saying? Until something opens up. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, let's put it this way too. The things you're trying to discover, according to what we know now, nobody has discovered. You know what I'm saying? They only
Mhm.
theorize. So what's the truth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't want to think about these things.
They don't. They really don't.
I mean, we saw it was ball chasers like Academy Awards recently, right?
I think it
Like
still
we're
is,
right
right?
in the middle. The Knicks game
And the
and
World
now
Cup.
the soccer, right?
Oh yeah, it's ball chasing on steroids right now.
They're loving, yeah.
Yeah.
They got balls everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Men playing with black and white balls, the soccer ball.
Do they think they're thinking about what's the purpose of their life? No, they're thinking about, is that ball going to go into the net? Who's going to be able to handle the ball the best? They're not thinking about the deeper meaning of life or anything like that, or questioning moral principles. No, they're thinking about the ball. Where's that ball going to go? One net or the other net? That's all that matters to them.
Yep.
And they're spending billions of dollars on clothing for these, because I see it, they're having the World Cup down here, and all the stores are selling all these jerseys, these soccer jerseys of the famous ball chasers. You know what I mean? People are buying them up.
Oh, they're having it in Florida?
Yeah, they're having one event in Florida. Man, I don't follow it, so I'm not that familiar. But I think they're having some. Yeah, they're having some of the World Cup down here.
Because I don't know which state it was. It could be Florida, but they were saying that the players refused to eat the American food, and they're having food shipped in from Norway.
Really? Let me see.
Yeah, a video popped up earlier today, and I was like, "Holy smokes!" It just, it's everywhere. They're pushing the ball chaser stuff, or they're pushing that in your feed, whether you like it or not. So when I saw that, I was like, "What's this?" And it was looked like it was a news channel. Yeah, it looked like it was a news channel, and they're like, "Oh, they were saying that." I don't know if it was because of the preservatives or something about the lack of integrity of the food, because remember, a lot of the food like that we have here, they're banned in other countries.
Yes.
There's
Yeah, I
like
see it right here, the Norwegian team. Yeah.
Mhm.
Because they said they
It's
get
a
sick of
Norwegian
the
team.
food. What was that?
It's a Norwegian ball player team.
It's a Norwegian team. Yeah, it's a team from
Oh, so now
Norway's
it
national
makes sense
soccer
why
team.
they're shipping the food from Norway. Okay, because I wondered why they were going to ship it from Norway. I was saying maybe it's a
It's the
contract.
Norwegian. Yeah, it's Norway's national soccer team because
Oh,
I guess
so wow. Yeah, they're shipping food. Yeah.
the ingredients in the American diet is not the same as theirs.
You never know. It's a roulette game.
Hmm.
If you're eating out in America, yeah. Yeah. I have to say that. If you don't know the establishment and the people there, you'd have to think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and trying to see where the World Cup's being played, because I don't know if it's in different states.
I think it might have been somewhere in Florida.
Oh, United States, Mexico, and Canada. 11 cities are hosting the World Cup, so
Okay, they're
it's all
not
over the
saying.
place.
All right. All right. So
Yeah,
now,
that's why I'm all confused. I don't know if it was just, but Miami's one of them, and New York, they're having it up there too.
wow.
But I don't follow this stuff, so I'm not a big soccer guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they had their double. This was the double ball chasing event. The orange bowl, and then the black and white adrenochrome bowl with
Mm-hmm.
the soccer.
Oh, yeah.
It has what a lot of people say is the adrenochrome thing
Mm-hmm.
on that adrenochrome symbol. I think, yeah, and soccer ball.
I mean, you nailed it with the ball chasers. It's everywhere.
Oh, everywhere.
This is what
Everywhere.
matters to the American public: is where's that ball going to go?
Yeah.
Is it going in the hole or is it going in the net?
Exactly.
Anything else is not important.
Yeah. And that's it. The amount of obsession with that, and when you see the behavior,
Mm-hmm.
it keeps people in a perpetual state of immaturity.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, it really does. It's the adrenochrome in the movies. I was trying to see if I could find a thing. Man, they're really limiting this stuff in what was that movie? Monsters Inc., right? I don't know if you ever heard of
I
that
think I
one.
took my daughter to see that.
Okay.
An older. Yeah, I think I took my daughter to see that.
They
It's a
do
pretty good
have.
movie, actually, though.
Yeah, I saw pieces of it.
Mm-hmm.
When you think of it, they scare the kids and then they get a substance from them, right? They collect it in the scarometer.
Oh yeah, Mm-hmm.
in the movie. So it's like it makes you wonder. It's like, so you have these monsters that are scaring kids, and when they scare them, they have a scare meter, so it collects a type of fear energy, basically.
Yeah. There's some darkness to that. I mean, they're implying something that's kind of dark. I mean, hey, I enjoyed my times of going to Disney parks, but there's definitely the occult involved in it in the background. You know, it's
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
scary.
I went to as a kid. I remember my sister. One of them lives in California, so I remember going to Disneyland.
Hmm.
But I didn't really like. It was kind of whack when I think about it. I remember going on Space Mountain and It's a Small World, uh, a few other things, but it wasn't really impressionable to me.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was kind of whack when I
I guess
think
when you have
about it.
kids, it's fun. You know what I mean? When you take your child, it's more like spending time with your kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Really what it is for an adult. You know, I didn't really go as a kid myself. I never. I think I was an 18-year-old by the time I went to Disney.
Mm,
First time. You know.
Jen, Jen is. I tell you, man, people.
Hmm.
You know who's the you know who's are run by the we don't knows. It really, there's always that, it's like I was saying with that unknown thing. No matter how much we can figure out, there's always something unknown.
There is.
And yeah, that's just there. It lingers. It's the Cheshire, it's the smile to the Cheshire cat.
Hmm.
It just you're always going to have stuff that you don't know. So if you think you know everything, it only confirms that you don't to
Exactly.
somebody that knows.
I
Other
admit I
people,
don't know even 1% of it. You know, I
yeah,
admit.
we're always going to be wrong about stuff. So it's like when we see somebody coming with that, especially we see evolutionists, like they come hard with it.
Oh yeah.
And it's like we already have created enough mental knowledge, the shield of mental knowledge to know for sure, because there is no debate or anything. It's saying, look, you have an illness of the mind to where you believe something that is proven to be untrue,
Hmm.
not just something that seems absurd, but something that you can prove. And you're telling me that it's science. It's like, and we saw that mental illness with people with the arm tap. The thing, people
Hmm.
were uh they were making excuses. There were a few people that kept it real, that they did get it, but they said, look, I got it because of this. Now, one guy, he used to come on here, Noise.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Way.
he might pop on again. Who knows? I mean, we went to high school together for a little bit. And
Oh okay. Oh,
yeah,
so you know that.
and You Gotta Laugh podcast, when he sometimes hops in the chat. He asked me today. I spoke with him. We were all in high school together. Me, him, Noise 99. Um, and he was like, he goes, because he can watch the stream if it's like 8 or 9. By the time I start at 10, he's already, I think, getting ready to sleep to get ready, because he goes early to work. And so I was like, yeah, I said probably like 10, and I just barely made it because I had went to this book thing, and that's where the people were like, I was kind of shocked. I was like, wow, because they were reading Fahrenheit 451 in like this book club. And I was like, yeah, I said, I saw the movie a long time ago. I said, I never read the book, but I said, I think they put this book in the book club with everybody reading it, um, because it's like a hint of what's really going on. And it was this older lady that was there, among the other ladies, and
Mm.
she knew exactly what I meant. She was just like, yeah, because she was, I guess, from that time. Fahrenheit 451 was printed like in the 50s. I think Bradbury wrote that. Um, I don't think Bradbury's a great writer. A lot of people look at him as a great writer. You know me. I'm not going to give credit until it's fully due. I'll give people sometimes the benefit of the doubt, but Bradbury, he may have gotten those writings from somebody else. I think he had some beef with Rod Serling. And Rod Serling, I have to admit, I'm very impressed by Serling. Serling, Twilight Zone, all of that, I give him a lot of credit. It's not what you know, it's what you can prove. Yeah, really, in certain cases, yeah, in
But
certain cases,
isn't there some truth that we can't prove?
yeah. And I was just about to bring that in, like love. So you can love somebody can, you can't prove it.
Hmm.
Your actions, if you do stuff, somebody can easily say, I would say, if I'm trying to make sure my own theory stands, is that you could always say, well, oh, you do things for them, you provide for them. Well, that by definition shows you care for them. So you're caring about their physical well-being. Love is a really, it's something to be defined, man.
Hmm.
Ball chasing and car racing. You uncommon truth. What's up, bro? Ball chasing and car racing. Man, I gotta use that together. That's a bar, man. That is ball chasing and car racing. More damaging than any scamdemic could ever dream about being. Yep, it
And
is.
look at New York with the New Year's Eve. What goes
Oh,
up there? A ball. Another
oh,
ball.
forget it. Yeah, yeah. Jen is traumatized. Jen, we're gonna have to get you something kosher. Holy smokes. You can't don't let what the machine is telling you uh create a prejudice, because that can only hold you back, and I'll give you some benefit of the doubt to, okay, you got to be paranoid. There's nothing wrong with being paranoid, you know. Remember, it was the paranoid Jews that got out of Germany.
That's true.
Yep, paranoia. Hey, it can save your life. And in what Jen is saying, okay, yeah, ask questions. That a question is sometimes it's the key to open the cage when somebody's trying to control your mind. So you
Hmm.
just open that cage with the question. You disintegrate their entire form of mind control, because these laws and stuff are basically mind control. When we see that some people are held to them and others are not, that tells us right there. You don't need to ask the question at that point. If you ask the question, then, you're kosher. It's a joke. Did you get it? I guess not. Don't let the hatred blind you to the point to where you lose your humor. It was a joke. Kosher. You get it, because I know what you're saying. So I said, we'll get you something kosher. You know, Shaman, yeah, man, Shaman is on point, bro. You're not paranoid if there is a conspiracy against you. Um, yeah, yeah, man. And people, well, no, it's not. All right, let's look at that. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. So if we're paranoid, so you're not paranoid if there's a conspiracy against you. So are you saying that paranoia only applies to if it's not real? And you might be right. I'm glad you brought this up. Paranoia is thinking there's a conspiracy against you when there is. Okay. So is that by definition, man? I'm gonna look it up, but I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that. As a matter of fact, see, this is what it's about, man.
Hmm.
People, Sven is teaching, man. Sven is teaching. Okay. That's the definition. Yeah, man. Sven is on, man. Sven is on. Yeah. I'm not even gonna look it up because I don't want to change the page. I have a page of some stuff with some media ecology type stuff from Postman, who wrote the book Amusing Ourselves to Death. And it's a study of the media as environments, and it's deep. So media ecology, this is some deep stuff, man. Like ecology, like, the ecological systems. So media as environments, that it's like different media environments. And he talks about how medias are not neutral tools. They have ecological impacts. And you can introduce a new medium such as a printing press, a television, or the internet. And it doesn't just add content, it'll fundamentally change the entire culture and alter how humans think and interact. Now, we can test that by looking at cultures, even our own, how it has changed every time there was some type of new invention or invention that allowed them to push media more. So, like he's saying, the printing press, the radio, even, the telecommunications, the television, and the internet. But that does more than just adding content. It changes the entire culture. It alters how we think and interact with one another and think and interact on its own. Musing ourselves to death, it's a little boring, I have to admit, when I was listening to it. But hey, it's worth learning. Jen says George Orwell's advice: to find out who rules over you, look at who you're not allowed to criticize. Well, guess what? George Orwell was right in that, and Maxed Out is telling you that, and you can think of this logically. Even people that you can criticize can still be the ones ruling over you, because it's like, if look, you can criticize, you see, um you're criticizing now. You see what I'm saying? That there is no not criticizing. Somebody might say, oh, well, if you say certain things you can get in trouble and stuff like that. Yeah, but you still can criticize. It's, again, goes back to freedom of speech. Just watch what you say.
Yeah.
You can say it. And you say, oh, well, I want to say it and not be able. Well, hey, you know what? I want $10 million.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, come on. This is the perpetual state of immaturity that they keep us, or we decide to stay in, when we think that life owes us something. I mean, when you look at the situation, it's like, okay, so you're telling me you want these people to actually care about us, and you see the track record, and the noose is just getting tighter.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to. I know there's good people in every religion, every type of people. There's going to be some good people. They might be far and few, but they're there. And the problem is, people think that there's really like different ratios. They'll say, well, in this group, there's more good people. And it goes the other way as well for some people. But I would say, okay, how many people do you know? Like, when somebody tells me something about a group of people, whether it be black or white or Hispanic or Indian or Chinese, Oriental, I'm like, okay, how many of those people do you know? 1,000? And that's a lot. Most people don't know 1,000 people.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm saying that just to shut it down, so it doesn't, if I say 100, oh, I know 200, okay, 1,000. So most people don't. If they're saying something about a Chinese person, or, okay, 1,000 Chinese people? No, then shut up.
But it's also important to recognize when there are certain situations where people will look at you less favorably, and just to be aware of it. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
and I look, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's going to happen, and it's like see, that's the test. That's the maturity test. That's the asylum test.
Mm-hmm.
That's the animal got out of the cage test. It's like being in the zoo. When I look at these people that have these very strong emotional opinions, whether it be racial, political, religious, I look at them like a very dangerous animal that escaped from the zoo. And
Yeah.
we're out here in the lab, like, or on the farm, right? Because
Mhm.
remember, zoo, lab, farm. Um, and I'm just like, okay, I can either be an idiot, which I'm an expert in being an idiot. Had a lot of training in that, and
Myself included.
yeah, we just, and this gives us a power, because it's so funny that we can say that and say, okay, we're going to put the ego in check, but we don't hear a lot of people saying that.
No.
So it's like, okay, we note that, and then we say, okay, now we don't want to go back and repeat the idiot classes. So we say, all right, how do I uh what's the word, like, lessen down, like, not tame, but like de-escalate the situation with the human animal that just escaped the cage, that
Mhm.
is saying some very charged stuff. Like, this lady has a class, and I was going to attend it. It's free. And she goes, they were getting very heated. It's like a not a debate, but it's just like a political thing. And somebody was like screaming, it's the immigrants, and that his daughter and his son can't really get a position because they're taking it and all of that. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, all right, now at least I know what I'm dealing with.
Mhm.
And how do you deal with that? It's like, in an environment that you're not going to walk away. So the smartest thing for me to do, and I'm thinking, this is great. I'm getting, more ideas now, is
Mhm.
I'm going to treat it as if I'm walking into a laboratory, and he is the test animal. And the other guys there too, because she was saying, oh, there's like alpha males. I said, there is no alpha male. I said, there is insecure males. I said,
Yeah.
that's what they are. I said, we all pay taxes. Everybody is, you know, I said, the position. Shaman says, max down, max sense. Thank you, brother. Yeah,
Okay.
man, I appreciate that. Yeah, so I'm thinking about it. It's next month, so it's not this month. And I'm looking forward to it, actually, because it's testing my 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 ability to interact with people where I don't respond in an emotional way, and I don't lower myself
Yes.
to the level that I have lowered myself to before.
Hmm.
Um, and it's very easy to do. It's very easy. I remember a friend of mine, every time he saw me in an argument, he would uh he would put his hand toward the ground and act like he was splashing water. And he would say, yeah, I'm doing that because you're playing in the dirt again. you know, and he was a really cool dude. He was a Army Ranger. And every time and he's like, man, he goes, I saw a little, people talking, I realized it was you over there. He's like, can't stop uh not arguing. It's really like uh voicing your opinion. Deep down inside, when I look at it as psychologically, it's like a call for attention too.
Hmm.
It's a call for attention. Yeah, idiot Maxon is the play. Yeah, it
Yeah.
just there's definitely when I look at people that, these videos, and they get all crazy and stuff, and I'm like, man, that's a psychological attention, call for attention. For me, uh, in the 90s, right, when we were hanging out, smoking weed and all of that, and it wasn't really drinking, we were just smoking, and we had to be careful because the cops were everywhere. And I'm like, okay, you want to be quiet. I never had the radio and all of that. I mean, I had a little radio when the face used to pop out. I remember that might have been like the early 90s, like
Hmm.
maybe 94, around there, 93, 94. And but I never had the amp and all of that stuff with the loud music.
Oh yeah.
I just couldn't take it. Even when I was in other people's car, I'd be like, look, man, I can't, you can play it loud, but it's like, I would be like, why do you want to draw attention to us?
I
Like,
know.
we're smoking a joint and we're saying, it's like, what are you doing? Now I don't worry about that because I don't do nothing, I don't drink, I don't smoke. It just, sobriety, but not sobriety because like I need to be sober because, like, some people have to go in a drug program. For me, it's just like I outgrew it. It was never really a big thing, and I partied a lot. I definitely had fun. Not crazy, flashy pop out car CD player. Yes, yes, brother. Yeah, I didn't have the CD player because in '94 they had them, but I had the JVC, like it was like a glass face cassette thing, and I think it was cassette and CD, and the face would come down, but you could also pluck the face off. So now nobody is going to steal the radio because the face isn't there. Um, and then I think like not too long after that, because nobody has car radios now, right?
No, we still have car radios. I think there's still
Like,
radio.
like it's like a console or something like that.
Yeah, well, it's a
Yeah,
touch.
it's not like it was. It's like, the internet stuff. Like, to me, I like the old fashioned. Um, the newer the stuff is getting, especially with these batteries, um, and the electronic stuff, I just don't think it's good. Like simple stuff that is easy to understand is so much more valuable. It's so much the value in it. It's priceless because you don't realize it in the simplicity. And it's kind of like what this guy was saying, Postman was saying about the technology, about the questions that we need to ask whenever technology comes about, who's it going to benefit, what's it going to improve. I think he had a list of those
Well,
questions.
I'll speak on that a little bit because my daughter got the Tesla, and I helped her get it, of course. But it was a used Tesla, but the safety features are great, and she says she keeps them on. Because I asked her, I said, she said, you can turn off the safety features, but I always keep them on. And she said it saved her butt a couple of times where she lost control and it took over. So there is something to be. There's a positive to technology because I think she would have been in a major accident already. The way she drives, kind of,
Hmm. Hmm.
and not paying attention and getting caught up in something. Like girls, they get caught up in stuff like texting or something. She said that car has saved her numerous times where it took over and stopped right on the dime when it needed to. So there's something to technology. I mean, there's definitely the safety aspect of it, I think is important.
Yeah, no, if it's preventing her, and it saved her, that's a good thing. you
Yeah.
know um I would say now, and this is in that thing, this is a perfect analogy for it. I would say she's taking a route, and I understand, I'm not saying anything against it. I'm saying if it was me, I
Hmm.
would I would have to take the chance of saying, you know what? If they say, look, do you want the car? It can prevent that because the option is here right now.
Yeah.
Or if something happens and you could die, and I would be like, all right, you know, it's like if I have the freedom to do it and I could die, great. Because even with the mechanism, I mean, I could say, oh, I could still die with the mechanism, but let's just say I don't. Let's say that it actually does save me, but it's at the cost of the privacy, of the control,
Yeah.
because they control the car. They're showing you at that moment you think you're in control, but you ain't in control. So
Hmm.
every time that, and I'm saying for her it's actually good, because like you're saying, you don't want your daughter to get, let her get more experienced, right? As far as a training car, I would say, yeah. I didn't need that. I've been driving since I was 15, had my permit.
Hmm.
Even at 14, you try to drive. I'm
I
glad
got
that
I
I
was
had.
16 and I was an idiot, to be honest with you. I was a complete moron.
Yeah,
But
now
luckily,
some,
I didn't
yeah,
get into a
and
major
some
accident.
people, yeah, some people they need the training. They need. I learned how to drive stick in the military, just driving. I never took a
Yeah.
class. I had the,
I
the
took on
trucks and
stick.
all of that, and it wasn't hard. I'm like, okay, to ride a motorcycle to me is a little harder. I don't do that. Like I've ridden on friends, but uh, yeah, because it's like you're doing it like kind of in reverse. That's the guy was explaining, like you're how you shift the gear with your hand and you hit the clutch with your foot. In a stick shift, he was saying on the bike and the one he had, you click the clutch is the hand, and the foot, you kick two down, I think two down or three up and two down. I forgot how it was.
Mm-hmm.
That was the gears. But I'm like, the bike, I'm just not a bike guy. If it's a pedal bike maybe, or an electric. I mean, a bike, it's like when I think of anything with the bike, it's like, yeah, a lot of people have gotten messed up on them. It says,
Yeah.
plucking the face off and putting it in its own little case. Yep. As you dip. Yeah, exactly, man. Wow. You remember the days, man. You remember the days, bro. It's like, oh, I miss those days. I was like, the 90s were beautiful. The mid 90s, the early to mid 90s, and even the late 90s. It was great. The 90s, period. And the 80s were cool. But you need, yeah, now you do. Yeah, now, see, I don't even listen to the radio. I don't even listen to the radio. I just,
Neither.
yeah, I'm just,
I just listen to the internet. If I was to use it for something, it'd be to Bluetooth my internet. That's pretty much it.
I just drive and I look around. I just stay. It was a good thing actually, at one time, because you have people that drive, carelessly. So if you're more aware, in Obama's movie Leave the World Behind, at one point all the Teslas drive themselves to, yes, I remember that point. That when they go to that road, yep, to a grid light, the two lanes, I think it was. Yeah, in that movie. Yep. Yeah, that movie was, yeah. That, and what was the other one that came out? They had that one. What the other one had, like a famous actor in it. Looking to buy a new car, but I'm looking for something not so loaded. So, say if a taillight goes out, I'd rather just change a bulb than replace the entire assembler. Man, the only thing I see with that is basically something. Now it's probably going to be something older.
Yeah.
I heard there was a thing where they were having junkyards were on fire, and somebody had a video saying that they think they're doing it on purpose to get rid of the older cars that don't need all of the electronics in the cars that you have past, say 2016, maybe 2015.
I mean, I understand the fun of a car and the freedom, but to me, I guess it's just perspective. At this point in my life, a car is a point A to point B type thing. I don't even, as long as they can get there safe. I take
Yeah,
pleasure.
yeah, that to me, yeah, same thing. Yeah, a car now is a mode of transportation, which it always was, but it's A to B, and it's necessity.
Yeah.
It's necessity. Like those days of driving around, I'm not doing nothing like when I went to even see Michael Kreml when he was in New Jersey. It was like 2.5 hours, and I had to cross over, the bridge, to go to Jersey. So the tolls, I think it was like $40 or something.
Look at that.
Yeah,
I mean, I used to love to go for drives, but now that I get older, it's like it's not the same.
Yeah. I mean, I like to. It's like if I feel like the vehicle has to be 100% safe. That's another thing too. Like if it's a semi-new vehicle, yeah. But now it's like, yeah, like when you get older, you start to definitely, yeah, it does affect it. It's like,
Yeah.
I drove to Ohio a few years ago, man. I had to stop like a few times, and I was just like, man, and I drove at night. So it was like, yeah, with those trucks and shit, I was just like, holy smokes.
What, you
And
started feeling
a while.
anxiety or something?
Huh?
You started getting anxiety?
No, like I was getting this pain in my neck from driving. I mean, to the point where I was
Right.
like, what the, because you got your arm on the steering wheel, and I'm saying, what the heck? And
Yeah, it's like I'd rather have somebody else drive and I can just relax.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
it pulled a lot. It pulled a lot. Under the Silver Lake goes hard. Not sure if that movie was mentioned the other night.
Never heard of it.
Under the Silver Lake. That sounds familiar. I'm gonna look it up. Having nice cars is just something for other people. So
That's
you're
so
right,
true.
Mark.
So
You're
true.
right. Let me check. Under the Silver Lake. Under the Silver Lake, 2018. No, I never heard of this. Wow.
Me neither.
Wow. So it's like, yeah, they're saying yes, it's worth watching. Like, as if I should listen to them anyway, because if they would say no, I would still watch it. However, it's highly polarizing, and hmm, okay, so it's kind of like The Big Lebowski, Inherent Vice. Yeah, maybe I'll check it. He says the one and Vivarium you mentioned. Yeah. Yeah, Vivarium was kind of yeah, that was an odd movie, man. But again, letting us know that we're not living in what we think we're living in, you know. So it's a different thing. But like what you were saying, like with the car and all of that,
Mm-hmm.
it's like the invention goes back to Postman's questions with um for any technology, like what problem does it solve? Okay, it solves the problem that she could have gotten in an accident and it protected her from that.
Yeah.
Whose problem is it? Well, okay, it's the problem of the parent and the person, the child that gets the car. What new problems does it create? So that part of it would be whatever chemicals it uses to make the batteries and stuff. So it creates a pollution problem, and it also, like every car,
Mm-hmm.
and it also creates with this one creates something to where you're getting security as far as the accident, but you're also losing the freedom of it. Like how Sven mentioned in the previous comment that with the in that movie that they drove the electric cars, all to like this gridlock, like on the highway, and they were all smashing in, like I forgot the actor in that, but he gets out of the car, and then you see another car coming down the highway, and it smashes into that car, and in front of that car are hundreds of cars going forward in the highway. So if the electric car, now they have the ability to, the car has the ability to self-correct.
Yeah.
It's linked. So what's and this is a very, it's a hypothetical, but what if you can, if I were to say, as a guy owning a company, like, hey, um can we lock people in the car and drive it to a certain location without them being able? And I think the answer is yes right now.
Mm-hmm. I'm actually looking at the scene right now. This
Huh?
idea of it.
The what?
The scene of the Teslas all banging against each other.
Oh, and then yeah, what's the name of the movie again?
Leave the World Behind.
Okay.
2023. Leave the World Behind.
Yeah, it was like there was another movie that came out around that time, like a Patriots or something, or patriotic movie.
Don't remember that one. But
Yeah, I
one
don't
thing
know
I
if
was sold on was that self-driving ability. It's for real. It's the real deal. I mean, I experienced it myself. The guy didn't even touch the steering wheel.
yeah, no, my friend, matter of fact, Drew Ma, who came on here,
Mm-hmm.
he has a Tesla, and he was wanting to debate and all of that stuff, and he was saying how it was so great. He bought a Tesla. I basically, it's like, and Drew's a cool guy, and he knows he can come on anytime. I just got to be careful because he's kind of like Jen. He got a
Mm-hmm.
lot of that hidden hatred in there. What's up, DK? How you doing, man?
Hey, what's going on, Max? I saw the title of the show last night. Touche, man.
Thanks, man. Yeah, you have me laughing with that, man. We're all on Shutter Island, man.
I want to give you my how would you call it, like review or synopsis of that movie, but first I want to just say something regarding what you're saying right now and what the topic of the show is. So entertainment, right? Enter, to go inside, and then train, to get something to do something, whether it's a person, animal, computer, or whatever, to get it to do something repeatedly that you want. And then ment, the mind, right? So enter and train the mind. That's literally what entertainment means.
If you look up entertain, right? Just the word entertain in Latin, it means to distract, to divert, and to hold attention of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, definitely. It's clearly, distraction of the mind. Yeah.
And then quest, which is to search for, ion, which AKA God, AKA the truth. So quest for the truth, question.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, if we just look at what these words actually mean in their etymology, it tells you pretty much everything. Government, to control your mind. Religion, to hold you back. I've
had people literally like 3-4 multiple attack and saying that government is not, mind control, and I'm just like, that's how zombified people can be. It's like, we know what it means, and it's still, it's like, really,
government, aka the Holy See. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's definitely. But what were you saying about the movie? Yeah, the Shutter Island thing.
So my whole take on it is that, there was all kinds of Nazi experiments on all kinds of different islands and places up in the mountains and places just away, hidden underground, away from the public, where they were doing all kinds of stuff, taking the tops of people's heads off, monkeys' heads, cats' heads. I mean, just, trying to create cyborgs, like with Frankenstein, story and things like that. So there were definitely, and they would do this a lot in these asylums. That's who was the asylums. The mental asylums were like a hidden away gem for the Nazis, because they would just test on these people and nobody would know anything about it. And same thing they would do to inmates, right? And there was a lot of people that, caught wind of all this stuff because their loved ones were in there, and they would talk, to the authorities, try to go investigate it themselves. So that's what Leonardo DiCaprio's character was. He was actually one of these legit guys who, got wind of what was really going on in some of these facilities where the Nazis were testing on people. And he went in there and then got all caught up, drank their shit, got poison, drinking, smoking their cigarettes and all that, kind of akin to how we come in here, as babies or whatever, and we're, totally awake. And then after all the chemicals and all that stuff, they get you to believe you're something totally different than what you really are, a disempowered, citizen, slave or whatever, when you're really like the, I am God force, if you really wanted to like exploit it, and then, he ends up getting lobotomized, like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nested. That's what they did to him, because he was the only, guy on the island. They could control everything. They set up the guy as his partner, the guy who plays the Incredible Hulk, I think, in the Avengers, and all that stuff. So, like, you can look at it both ways, but that movie was about, and they changed the ending, by the way. I think maybe it's on alternate endings if you have the DVD, but there was once they went into that lighthouse and he went into the other room, there was a dude who they turned into a cyborg who was about to take Leonardo DiCaprio's head off. Like, he was going to do the operation, not a human doctor. And it looked like, what's the gold dude in Star Wars? Is that C-3PO?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It looked something to the effect of that, but it was freaky looking, So that's my whole thing on Shutter Island. So we're all on Shutter Island, and like, we would be the equivalent of Leonardo DiCaprio when he first comes in. And then he runs into that lady out there who escaped the shit and tells him some truth. She would be like a conspiracy theorist. You know what I mean? Like, as far as the greater allegory of the movie. So do a bunch of other people, the NPCs, sleepers, whatever, create like delusions of what's really going on? And yeah, absolutely. So that's a whole nother way to look at it. But the main point of that movie was, he really was investigating these guys, and they they drugged him and shit, and to think he's not who he really is. And there's another Hannibal Lecter movie. I think, is it Hannibal? I can't remember. One of those movies where he drugs, he's drugging his patients, and then they don't even know what the heck. He's just, he can coax them into doing anything, like including that one guy. He threw a mirror on the ground in front of him and shattered in a bunch of pieces. He's like, now try to remove your face, and he was all drugged up, and then the guy picked up the little shards in the mirror and was trying to like take his face off with it, fucked himself all up, obviously, So there's multiple ways to look at it. And as far as that shape thing, transition into that real quick, because that was pretty interesting. All the different shapes you showed where, depending on which way you're looking at it. I think the point that Zach was trying to make was that, like, Israel would be like the square side. You're looking at it from that side. From another side, you're looking at it like the American military, like the triangle. And then you're looking at like the Masons is the circular, whatever. And he's saying the Jesuits is the view that you're looking at the picture from, where you can see all the angles and what's happening because they're orchestrating it. And he's correct about that. They would be like,
no. I'll explain why that's incorrect right here. And this is so we can all grow. And this is nothing against his knowledge. I'm saying he has great knowledge. He's pointing out stuff that he is seeing from the perspective of, let's just say, he's standing on the right and he's looking at the shadow being cast that has the square, right? Now, I'm standing on the left and I'm looking at the shadow being cast of a triangle. Now, he's seeing one side of the square. He's saying the Jesuit, the top, Israel, the side, America, and the bottom, another country or another situation. So he can only, and any of us, we can only see it from one perspective. That is, you cannot be in three places at the same time. So Mr. X is on top looking down. He's looking from the right to the square. I'm looking from the left to the square
But this triangle. Is why we research all different things and then cross-reference it. No,
exactly. Now, this is what I'm saying. So he has the perfect perspective of very well informed. Zach is extremely well informed of the side looking at it where the square is at. Now, just with these three, this could represent the three of us. Any situation we come in contact with, we're going to see this from these three perspectives. Now, when we start working together and we start saying, okay, you know what? You're seeing a square. I'm seeing a triangle. X is seeing a circle. Now we're thinking and we're creating another mind. And that other mind is what can solve this problem, which cannot be solved with one mind. So this picture here is a perfect example of it. The person who is looking at one shadow, you can only look at one shadow at a time. You cannot have my three perspectives fit these three shadows. No, they'll fit three parts of one shadow. It'll be that shadow shows, okay, I see from this angle, I see the triangle. And I know that it is, this dimension, everything, but it is a triangle. Now, I can't figure out that the bottom of this thing is circular, casting a circular shadow, because only somebody else looking at it from the top can see the circular shadow. I can only see the triangular shadow.
Right, but you could move around and get all the perspectives.
No, you can't move around. This is why this is a perfect example of that. Another person in between us, on the bottom right one here, another person would see, one of us sees the triangle, the other one sees what looks like a teardrop going up to the circle, and the other one sees the circle. So they're seeing 6 different perspectives now of the same shaped item as we saw in the previous picture. Now, the picture on the bottom left shows those 3 perspectives: the circle, the square, and the triangular shadow. Some people might not make out the triangle from their perspective. you seeing it very clear, your perspective on everything that's very clear and crisp is represented by one of these shadows. That's you. You own that. Me, I own one. X owns the other. Now, we are going to say, okay, this is what I see. And it looks like a triangle, And I'm saying, well, okay. Now we don't know, the object is representing the situation that we're in, the government, and the oppression. So we're saying, okay, the situation, you're seeing it from this side, or Zach or somebody is seeing it from this side, saying, hey, you know what? It's these people. It's these people. It's these institutions. Now I'm looking at it and I'm saying, hey, from the genetics and stuff like that, it's looking like this situation here. And Mr. X is saying he believes in something that created him and everything that exists. His perspective, and it goes deeper than that, of course. This is just me saying it, but he gets the other perspective. Now, when we combine our perspective, we're still not going to get the whole picture of what's going on. We're going to get a better picture of it, but not the whole picture. Somebody else might come in with some knowledge, Hyperborean and all of that, and they might say, well, I see it from this angle. And that allows us to get a better view of the whole picture. And what is the picture? The picture is reality. So we're saying, okay, we're never going to fully get it, but we can get a little bit closer every time we think together.
Yes. And open-mindedness too.
That the way you're using it in that allegory, yes, I would agree with that. But let's just say, there's three of us, person A, B, and C, and we're looking at something from a different perspective, because that's like what our specialty is. But then definitely, person A can say, hey, person B, come on over here and stand where I'm standing so you can see what I can see from this angle. Therefore, now person B knows what A and B can see. And then person C can tell person B, hey, person B, come on over here and take a look at this from what I can see based on their information, their study. And now, that person can see, from their original standpoint where they were at B or A, and they've just taken the position of person B and C and seen it from their perspective as well. And now they have the perspective of looking at it from the foreground, where you can see all of them. You know what I mean? Now you're like, okay, but just because you cannot at any one point in time, stand exactly in all three spots at the same time, doesn't mean you can't in the future understand the perspective from each one of those individually and put them together to create a bigger picture understanding. That's the whole point, I think, of creating. It's a Masonic thing too. They use creating a mastermind where they use it's a little bit of a different way. They do. They're not trying to get to truth. They're trying to get to a, agenda. So they're using different aspects, different specialties, and bringing all these people together to, cause a certain thing that they want to cause. But what Zach was saying, though, if there's these different pieces of the puzzle, the Jesuits are behind all those smaller pieces of the puzzle. In that respect, he's correct. Now, what's behind the Jesuits? That's not shown.
Well, how is he correct in saying that? What he's saying is his belief is that, according to the knowledge and evidence that he's been finding, but he can't say that that's from everybody's perspective, because he can't see everybody's perspective. Even if you bring somebody next to you,
everybody's perspective is true, just because somebody else has a perspective.
No. All I'm saying is the Jesuits. All right, think about this. What you said was the Jesuits, he would say the Jesuits are behind everything. Now, how do you know, honestly, who is behind everything? Everything is a pretty big word.
Well,
so I could say,
I would agree with you on this, but those things that he named, the Jesuits are behind, and it's easily verifiable. It's not something like we have to wonder.
Okay. Now, isn't there something behind them?
Of course, yeah.
Okay. So this is what I'm saying. It's so we don't know everything. We know we can chart out certain things with evidence and say, okay, this is there. and
Up
we
to
can
let me put it this way: up to the Jesuits, it's easily provable on paper. Beyond that, then there's a lot of different ways you can spread out, and it's hard to like narrow it down and prove it to somebody on paper. But up to the Jesuits can be proven on paper easily.
Well, think about the paper being proved, right? If somebody tells me the water is polluted, that knowledge, I can get a water filter and filter the water. If they tell me the food is being sprayed with a certain pesticide, I can look for food that isn't sprayed. I become aware with the knowledge. What is the knowledge of telling me that these Jesuits and other people are behind things? How does that help me in the way where it's practical, instead of just, saying, okay, hey, the Empire State has 103 stories, stuff like that? It's like, what is this? How do I use it to help myself? Like, say, oh, the water is this, let me get a filter. The food,
I would say use it in two ways. One way would just be in predicting, like not letting that happen to you in the future, because you can see that
letting what happened to me.
schools are involved, and
No,
you could also use it to just
no,
understand.
no, but letting what happened to me in the future.
Huh?
You're saying not letting that happen to me in the future, letting
Not
what
letting
happen.
you like fall for certain agendas or certain like psyops in the future, because you understand that if there's Jesuit guys involved, they're doing the same thing, and in the same way, you know, you can understand the pecking order of who's controlling the show. You're like looking at, like Zach commonly says, everyone's talking about middle management, which in a way is very true, because if you look at the heads of all that, it's Jesuits. But then, you're not going to look at a guy like Donald Trump, who's, Jesuit educated. Yes, he is. But like, he's not at the level of like a George Bush, who maybe is not, on paper a Jesuit, but he's a Knights of Malta and all these other things.
Yeah,
So
but what's the difference between, because it just, for me, maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm not quick enough. It gets confusing. I'm looking at them as all of these people, Trump, Biden, everybody, all of the people you name and going back, all crooks. So it's a simple, now I'm not confused. It's like, oh, crooks. Okay, I understand. Crooks are behind it. Now, whether it's these type of crooks or that type of crooks, it's still a crook. So that simplifies everything to say, okay, there's crooks and then there's a couple of good people. And really, we're susceptible, if we don't stay strong in our mental fortitude, to fall prey to doing dumb shit and falling back into idiocy and ignorance. That's our biggest enemy, the ego.
Mm-hmm.
So thinking that I know everything, like X and I were saying, we can figure out a lot, but there is going to be something we don't know. Now, in some people's belief, they think, okay, no, I'm going to know everything. Okay, that's cool. It's a belief. Even if they want to say it's science, fine. I'm not here to tell somebody what they should or shouldn't think about. And then I really think of, sometimes you gotta just let people believe what they want to believe, even if they're saying it's the truth or it's scientifically true. There's, I'm looking at it like, okay, I don't know how long I got, and it could be tomorrow, it could be 30 years, 40 years. Life is weird. It's unpredictable. It doesn't care about our schedule. So when I hear things about, conspiracies and stuff, and it's very interesting, I have to admit, it's very interesting. But when I look, like, I've learned a lot from Zach with the 1500, the way the English with the 26th alphabet is established, and the way we have the anagrams and the gematria in the language. It really shows, and I guess the King James too, getting published at that time, it shows a very important part of how they created something that very much controls people in the mind. So that is clear as day. We all see it, though, from that different perspective. Like you were saying, we can come close to each other. Hey, come over here and look at this. But in the mind, in the physical, we can do that. But even if two people say, hey, come over here and look at this side of the mountain, two people can look at the same mountain from the same angle and see different stuff.
Observation bias, what you're saying.
No. I'm saying that this is the beautiful thing, because if we're looking at something from the same thing, you're going to say, oh, I see this, and I'm going to say, okay, I see that, and I see this too, and then you say you see something else too. So we put together, we see more. In this sense, without the physical, because we're not walking over to see the perspective, we're thinking about each other's perspective. So we're saying, hey, can you imagine, because this is what I'm seeing it like. So how I'm explaining it to you. Yeah, sure. All of these people that are doing these things, all right, I look at it where it's simplified, because it can get very confusing. Now, something clearly from the evidence has created the modern English language in, say, about the last 500 years, which is not very old for a language. And they've put these codes in it numerically, and especially with anagrams, and more. Because the code, the gematria codes, the numerology codes, and the anagrams are just the two that we know of. There's probably other stuff, maybe phrase codes, grammar, grammaticals, all type of stuff.
And one thing about the Jesuits, can I mention that?
Huh?
The Jesuits have really been exposed. I mean, they've been, their reputation has really gone downhill. And a lot of the priests have gone to jail, for, PDF. So if they were that powerful, could they really be exposed the way they've been the last few years?
Well, all truth must be exposed. That don't look at it in that respect. They're telling us about everything. Obviously, if they didn't want us to know that they're drinking baby blood and doing all this stuff, we wouldn't even know about it. We wouldn't even know the Epstein character's name or face, or we wouldn't know any of these things. These could easily be hidden.
We got to stay within the YouTube guidelines. So that's in your opinion.
Yeah, we got to be careful with certain things.
What did I say? That was
no. All we're saying is that we're saying, in your opinion, you're saying that this stuff, this is what you're saying is happening, right?
Yeah, we just can't get graphic. That's why I said PDF. PDF files.
Yeah, I mean, I would just say in general that we're, as far as on that line, that we're being sold just, characters that don't even exist. Very similar to how Ben Kingsley played like the Osama bin Laden character in one of the Iron Man or Avengers. Remember when Tony Stark, he's like, I forgot what he's called. He would wear a mask and make these like scary videos, like he's beheading people or whatever, but it's like some drunk dude, Ben Kingsley.
Some guy partying.
That's basically what all this stuff is. And then some of the characters could be even like, they passed away already, and they're like, all right, perfect. Now we're going to bring this character to life, like kind of like a Osama bin Laden thing. And that guy, I think, passed away right before 9/11. He was like on a dialysis machine somewhere in the United States. And then they're like, okay, cool. Now we're going to use this, character who actually passed away in real life. Now we're going to, use this character for the mascot of this war for the next 20 years.
Yeah. I mean, me personally, I don't believe anything they say. I don't know if somebody, was in the hospital on dialysis, whatever. There's no way for me to really confirm it. And in a way, I always think, I say, what is this? How is this really helping me?
Well, it's all distractions. I mean, bottom line, that's all it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to know some of it. And there is something, to say, okay, why do they want me to think in that direction? So there's definitely, things.
Oh, you know what? One thing that I did want to have you bring up, all those shapes and different shadowing effects and coloring effects that you showed were all on point, except when you were showing it and then Zach said, yeah, I'm not getting that one. Then I looked back at that one, and it was the Rubik's Cube that had all the multicolored.
It's this one right here, right? Let me see.
I did the copy and paste thing. I screenshotted it and went over.
Is that it there?
it's not the same. It's orange and brown, and one it's definitely like I put them on the same screen, literally touching each other. They're way different colors. Every
That's
other
the one, right?
yes, that one right there.
Yeah.
So if you screenshot that cube on the left and then take out everything in the middle and just put them together, just edit it out where they're almost touching, and you'll see it's way off. All the other ones are on point though.
No. Wait. You're telling me that the brown, the 3 brown ones, where it looks like it's orange in the other picture, right?
Yeah, it's a totally different picture on the right where it's all whited out.
No. It's the same exact picture. Here, I'll tell you what. I'll open my sketchbook. I'll paste the picture over and do it in real time for you.
Do you have an email? Because I already did that and I got them right next to each other. I could just send you the photo. It's totally different. You don't need the picture on the right. All we're talking about is the picture on the left. So you could just take a screenshot of it or turn it sideways, take a screenshot of it, and then slide the two pictures over. You got 2 photos of it, and you can get it all in one shot in one screen, and you'll see it's like totally different.
Yeah, I'm going to show it to you right now. I'm just getting something ready because you can cut out 2 different colors and put it together and say, hey, this is the picture. But with the internet, that's the beauty. I can do it live for you here, just like I did it for Mr. X. Remember with the gray yesterday?
Yeah, those are obvious to me just visually. This one just off to me visually. Like all those other tricks don't work. I
totally understand. And this is, again, this is the good part because we're learning and we're saying, hey, you know what? I want to see you do this because I want to know. And I think that's great to know. Here, I'm just fixing something. But yeah, because I can show it to you. And this is so beautiful about the internet is that I can show it live and be like, okay, this is with this technology to share the screen. All right, I'm looking for it right now. Where I have it saved. Okay, now I'm going to share the screen so everybody can see this live because this is where it's about learning. Okay, share screen, right? Okay. All right, Mr. X, you there? Okay.
Yeah, I'm right here.
Okay, so we see this now. DK, are you there? You can see this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What I still see.
Okay. You're seeing the cube, right?
Yeah, and then the white thing on the right.
Oh, okay, I'm gonna take it on the left. I don't know if you can see my my mouse, but I'm going over the orange part and I'm copying it and pasting it. And now I can move the orange part on the left. I can move it up. So the other
out of the shadow.
Exactly. Now I'm going to put it right next to this brown one, which he's saying doesn't match
brown. It already looks brown.
Okay, now I'm going to erase because this is the only way to really, I want to know too. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm going to erase the stuff around it.
Yeah, it looks brown now. Yep. Because there's no shadow on it.
Well, the shadow is there. And the shadow, when this thing over here, this
Are you moving the orange thing yet that has a circle around it?
I did. I moved it.
That's the orange. No, that's what I'm saying. You took the orange there. You put it right here. Shadow. Now it looks orange again.
And now
it just changes. As soon as you go across that line, it changes color.
No. You didn't realize. I took it. Look.
I saw what it did, and just as it crosses over the ledge right there of the square where it's
right here, yeah,
it just changes to brown. Totally.
No. You know why? Because it comes out of the shadow. You see the shadow here? it looks orange in comparison to the brown that's on the bottom and on the top here. Once you move it out of the shadow, it's the same color, and it's showing you that the perspective of the light over here on top of the cube and the shadow over here on the side of the cube, it's showing you the effect of these two contrasts with a color that looks orange when it's in the shadow.
Instead of doing it the way you're doing it like that, can you take individual screenshots of the two squares and then just put them right next to each other?
Exactly. Okay, I'll do it over here.
Right. You can do it with the brown.
No, I'll do it right here. Okay,
that's what I did, and it was totally different.
All right, look, I'm doing it right here. Copy.
No, not copy. No, not copy. That's
what?
A screenshot, an actual screenshot where the screen goes, because that way it'll be in the same frequency. Copy it once you copy and paste stuff, things can change frequencies even on depending on the files. It doesn't work necessarily.
Wait. So when you take a screenshot, it won't change the frequency for some reason? Is that what you're saying? Really? Where's the proof? All right, where's the proof that the copying it like this, right? Which all art is done this way. If you look at the one on the right over here, you'll see all of these are over here on the right. These are the same exact cubes here.
Okay,
so if I'll tell you what, this will make it even easier. All right.
If that is the case, then there shouldn't be any variation. But there.
All right, no. This is the way to do it. You see the one on the left, right? All right, we have the left. I'm going to add a white layer to it.
See, this is the thing.
No, look. I'm not changing anything. I'm going to lighten. All right, you see this white layer?
I'm just asking you to screenshot rather than just doing all these
This is
and pasting because it's part of the program. I'm saying just take a picture. It's so much faster anyway. Just take a screenshot.
If I take a picture, right? Oh, okay, if I take a picture, what do you want me to...
screenshots, and then and then as you're looking, you can swipe over go through your photo library, and as you're swiping over,
look at the screen. Just look at the screen. I put the thing over it, and now I'm going to erase where the orange is, and I'm going to erase where the brown is, and the brown is, and you get the same exact, matter of fact.
You're still using an editing program to do it, though. What I'm saying,
I'm not using. And what I did was I coated it with this white color.
That's what I'm saying. I want to eliminate all that and just go to a basic screenshot. So we eliminate all coding and all the different algorithms that are used for these photo editing.
So wait. You're telling me if I take it
2 times?
No, no. I have to leave it at that because you're telling me to take a screenshot of this and place it next to the same picture you're seeing here?
2 screenshots, and then you look just like how you're scrolling through your photo library on your phone, one picture and the other. So as you scroll, you do it really slow so you can see a portion of both pictures as it's sliding in. The one picture's fading out to the left and the other one's fading into the right, and you get them both in the same screen and both of those things right next to each other, and they're totally different. And I can send you a screenshot of both of them in the screen, which I'll do it again right now on my phone. Just
you have to no. This is what I'm saying. I'm showing you this in real time.
I agree, but it's through a photo editing program, and things change. It's not
what you're using to send it to me. Is you're doing the same exact thing?
No, absolutely not. I'm just doing because it's uniform throughout. I'm not using any editing program. Any idiot can screenshot their screen, and that's it. It's not going to change. So if I take 2 screenshots, and then I can
see this is where I'm saying it's.
But why are you so against doing what I'm saying?
No, I'm not against it. I'm not against
shits and giggles. Let's just do it for shits and giggles.
If I open up the picture
just screenshot. We could have already completed what I said 5 minutes ago. Let's just I'll do it for you. You want me to do it? I'll just send you the email and then you open it up.
All you have to do is share the screen. So if you want to show us, share your screen. Press the plus button on the bottom, and then you can show us what you're talking about.
Okay, let me see if I can do that. Which one is the share screen from the phone?
It has a plus sign on it.
Let's see. I don't see that. Maybe it's in the menu. Comments, recordings. No.
It's the so what that says preset, present, or whatever.
Is it
Yeah.
orange?
Yeah, present. It's like a little.
I see it right here. It's right next. It says you're in the
Yeah,
show.
yeah. I think yeah.
It's right there. It's right in your
But you seen what I was showing with
yeah,
the
the whole
thing.
purpose of it, the power of the shadow to change how it looks, the
Yeah.
color.
Well, you know what too? It's hard to. It's like there's only so much you can do to show somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're not, like I showed you, I copied it, I brought it up, it looked brown. So it's saying, okay, you're seeing it in real time. Now if he wants to take two pictures and show it side by side without being able to show him like how I'm showing it in real time, I'm not editing it or anything like that. I'm taking it, dragging it up here, or better yet, covering everything else and leaving those two squares exposed. And then you really see how they're both the same color, because you eliminate the shading, the light and the dark. So the whole thing is about the light and the dark. So I know this is hard to just sometimes grasp. I mean,
we know color, like white color repels light and black color absorbs it. That's why, you wear like a white shirt and a white hat if you want to, in the hot summer, it's the best outfit to wear. So color and light definitely is there. It affects. And so we saw that right in real time, how the shadow can affect the reflection of the light coming out of that color, and it can change the color. Our perception of the color change. Not change the color, but our perception will change of what the color looks like. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, it's
really not much to debate. It's not a big deal.
Well, yeah, it's not really even a debate. It's just it's just saying, hey, you know what? This thing, just like the grays and all of that, it's the exact same color. I mean, the grays are actually like very, very, like I would say more because of the light and the dark. The thing that makes the orange one look stronger is because it's a difference in color.
Yes. Yes. Do you think that's because it's absorbing less light in the shade? Is that why it looks different?
I'm not sure. Yeah, I'd have to really look into it because
I know black absorbs the most light of any color. It sucks it right on. You know what I mean? That's why it gets hotter. But white repels it, so I'm wondering.
Yeah, they've done tests, I think, with ice cubes and a white handkerchief and a black one in the sun. And I think the one covered with the black handkerchief actually will melt quicker.
Yeah.
Is that you, DK?
That should be DK.
Yeah, I think he's trying to figure it out.
Am I back?
Yeah. Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Can you put it back on the screen?
Put what back?
Cube, so I can do that thing which you said.
No, I thought you were gonna share your screen and do it.
Yeah.
Are you there?
Yeah, I am, but I'm going to screenshot it right now off of your thing, and then I'll do what I told you I was going to do, and then I'll share the screen. I still haven't figured out. Took me out of the show.
No, you fell out of the show. I didn't take you out.
No, I was trying to push share screen or whatever I thought was share screen, and it took me down a rabbit hole, which took me out the show. So I don't even know what happened, because I'm on an old phone. I don't know if it's going to be the same control panel as like on a computer. You know what I mean? I don't know what I'm looking at right now, because at the bottom I just have like two buttons to mute and unmute and the camera, and then there's another one with just dots, which isn't anything. It goes to settings, and then that yellow one that I just pushed that took me out the show and wherever that took me.
Cool. You know what you can do is you can screenshot it. I mean, I'm not looking for proof. If you don't believe it, it's okay with me.
No, I mean, it's not that I couldn't. It's something totally insignificant and unimportant. But we can easily get to the bottom of it, and that's why I was saying, just for shits and giggles, let's do it, because it's, you know what I mean. I want to know, why is it doing that? If it is
here might be some of the answer. The color brown, it says here, is essentially a dark or desaturated shade of orange.
Right.
created
Yeah.
by
Here's
But I
Red
don't
the
have
picture.
any of the color
So it's a
If you want
blind.
to
shade of
I can
screenshot it,
see these things all really well.
do you want to screenshot it? Here's the picture.
Did you put it up? Okay, let me see. Okay, cool. Hold on.
Yeah, this is it's definitely one of the stronger color illusions, and it's hard for people to, I admit that, this is a good one. The gray one I think is stronger in contrast of light and dark though.
Definitely.
But this one, I've seen, I mean, some optical illusions are just amazing, man. They're they're fascinating. Do you got
You've
it?
seen those artists that draw stuff on the floor that looks like it's like a staircase going into the floor, and then people walk, and then they're like get all scared, like they're gonna fall into the floor.
Even the dogs freak out. I've seen the one with dogs. They look at it, they're freaking out.
Yeah, some of the shadow art that we were showing earlier, this one here with the woman's face made from the shadow.
I've seen some really wild ones like that in an art show where it's really three-dimensional, like the actual thing is like a bunch of feathers and trash and things, and then you look at, it's not the shadow. You have to it just looking at the thing is the thing, but you have to look at it from the exact angle. It was like unbelievable.
Wow. Yeah, just let me know.
Oh yeah, I'm almost done. I'm just cropping them real quick to make it easy.
Yeah, that yeah, it's definitely, the illusions to me they're just amazing. They really has me like I'm looking at some of the stuff from this Neil Postman. Really, I got to give it to him, man. He outdid it with the amusing ourselves to death.
Yeah, but brown is a shade of orange, so that would tie into what we're seeing and the effects.
All right, I got it pretty darn close right now. Hold on.
Oh man, yeah, this is I mean, it looks kind of, when I look at it, very very much the same. Christopher, good to see you, man. He says, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to show you, but I'm gonna argue about it. Yo, Christopher. Oh, brother. Good to see you, man. Good to see you.
Always bringing facts.
Yo, Christopher.
Hitting it hard.
I'm going to try to join from my other device, but I don't see the link on it in the chat anymore.
Try. It's cool, man. Yeah, if you figure it out, we're going to be here. We'll be talking about some other stuff, Christopher.
I don't see the link to join the StreamYard. I'm on my other device now where I just took the photo, so I'm trying to.
The link is in the chat, right?
I know. I'm on the chat right now. It's not in there for my
chat.
Right,
look at the bottom of the chat. It might be pinned to the bottom of the
It should be the bottom. Yeah,
it's not right now on mine.
Yeah, it might be on the bottom of the chat pinned.
It's not on mine. I'm going all the way to the top and bottom for some reason.
Okay. So you can see the chat though, right?
And the last thing on the chat is Sven Dabs 1200. Oh, there you go. I see the link.
Go for it.
Maybe it expired or something. I don't know.
No, it's right here. You got it?
Yeah.
You see it?
Oh, yeah, maybe on my side or something. Who knows?
Yeah, I just put it, Sven.
No, I'm following your link now, but before you did that, I was there. It wasn't there.
Okay. Yeah, some of these the Televised Society, I had another picture of it. But yeah, amusing ourselves to death, man. This guy, I give him a lot of credit for some of the stuff he talked about with the technological change being a trade-off. It's like a Faustian bargain, he was saying, where technology gives something on one hand and takes it away on the other. And we do see that.
Yeah. Well, it's like there's pluses and minuses. I got in the mail today this medical thing, the ECG monitor, because they want me to use it. Just I put two thumbs on it, and it automatically sends it right to the medical center that I talk to remotely. So back in the day, you'd have to go into the office to get these tests done.
Yeah.
They sent it to me in the mail.
I don't know what's happening now because I'm on my same account on my other device.
Oh, okay.
All right, let me take this one out. All right, let me.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So now I still have the same dashboard though. I have dots and I have a square and I have that yellow thing that takes me out of the show.
Okay, maybe the square with the plus in it.
Yeah,
there is no square with the plus in it. Says I can only just put stuff in the chat, comments.
You can share.
Is that because he doesn't have a wrench? Is that why?
No. He can share the screen. Anybody can share the screen.
Oh, okay, that's true.
Off of a regular device, you can still do it.
Yeah, if you just got to figure out how. If you're on a phone,
oh, he's on the phone.
You're gonna have to.
No, now I'm on a tablet right now.
Oh, okay, you're on a tablet. There should
you have the app, the StreamYard app.
No, I'm not. I'm on actually like StreamYard.com, and at the bottom there's the microphone on the left, the camera right next to it. Then there's the square.
That's square. That's square.
Yeah, but then when I hit that, it just goes to the chat or comments or recording. But there's no share screen anywhere. There's no plus anywhere.
Well, that's square, right? After the square, is it what, a person?
No, there after the square, there's three dots, and then there's that yellow thing with an arrow, which takes you out of the show. The three dots is comments,
okay, so
recordings.
The square is the way to present. It'll be the square. You hit that square, and it'll let you share your screen. So maybe you're not seeing where that's popping up or something, because it's gonna. If you're on the tablet, you can have different screens on, right?
Yeah, it just says when you hit that square, it just says chat, or you could go to comments, or you could go to recording, and it says recording hasn't started. Maybe that's something I would have to like put in to like add to the show or something. I don't know how that is. That we think
you might have to look it up, man. You might have to, because for your tablet, right? You would have to just look it up on the browser and say, hey, how do I share the screen on StreamYard with an Apple tablet?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have an email address I can just shoot this photo over to right now, and then you can put it up on the screen?
That's like, I got to sign in, all of that stuff. So it's like, we're right on the show. This is a lot for you to, I understand you want to see it. I think that I showed it in real time, and that wasn't good enough, because you're saying that
I was seeing
something. I'm not saying good enough
screen.
in that in a bad way. I'm saying you still require more, so you can rewatch that part, right, when you saw me do it, right, in real time, and you said, okay, I did it both ways. I copied it, and then I brought it up there in same color, and then I covered it with the white overlay, same color. So
yeah, what my eyes were seeing and what you were saying were not.
Well, no, and that's okay. So
I was seeing
so you're one of the people. You're one of the people that so far that, and Zach probably too, if he says that it doesn't look like the same color, that out of everybody who has ever looked at that, or is saying, okay, no, it doesn't look like the same color. Now, I would say that combine your test with the stuff that I showed today, and even if you do that and you still don't look at it, you say, oh no, I still think it's different, then that's cool. But you can't try to convince me that it's different, because to me, I've already done the scientific method and it's matching that. But if you bring proof and say, hey, look at this right here, I'm going to do it just the way you did it and slide it over, because with this thing that I got here, you could, I'm not saying you would, but you could alter it. You could alter it to where it's a little different color.
And that's what my eyes are seeing is happening. As soon as you move it over out of the shaded area, it doesn't just appear different because of it's moving out of the shading, it completely changes color. That's why
No,
I
no,
asked you to
no.
repeat
See,
it a
that's
few
your
times.
belief. That's your belief. It
I asked you to
actually-
repeat it a few times,
No.
and I was watching with my own eyes, and that's what I saw.
I know.
I don't
When
care.
you-
I want to know, regardless of which way it goes.
Yeah, oh,
I just want to know the truth.
all
So
right.
I don't have any
I'm
bias
trying to
towards it.
explain. I'm trying to explain it. When it goes across that line, your eyes readjust, and this is why we can't just say, okay, it looks orange, but I'm going to think and make it look brown, and I'll see the comparison. Like some illusions,
That's not what I saw. As soon as it crossed that plane, the whole thing changed color. It would have been way more gradual than that.
All right.
The whole thing just completely changes color.
The reason it changed color is because you're seeing it with a different contrast. And it's the
I
same
understand the thought behind it, but that's not what my eyes saw at all.
Okay, and this goes back to what I said before, is when you say, hey, you tell the guy from the side B, come over here and look at from what I'm seeing it. And I said, two people could look at the same thing from the same angle and still see two different things. And that's what you're doing right now.
I was at work when I was watching that over. And all four people that I was working with, I showed them, and they said it was different. So
okay, so that's great. That's great.
That doesn't mean anything. That's just 4 out of 4, But you could get it.
Again,
I was thinking, hey, am I colorblind in something? Because I've been tested before, and I'm not. But maybe I've just found a new one that I am. So that's why I was so interested.
I don't know. I mean, if Mr. X would say that he saw it different, I don't know if he saw it different or the same.
No, I saw it orange under the shade, and when you took it out of the shade, it went brown.
Okay, so
it's funny because out of all the graphics you showed, I don't have to look at it to put them next to each other. I can already my eyesight is good enough to where I can discern that it's in a different light and being other colors that are very close to it or totally opposing it are setting it off, making it pop more. I have a background in like architecture, engineering, and design, so I already know how shadow effects and color palettes within the same color or totally different will pop things off or make them blend in more and all that. So I'm super aware of all that. So that's why when I saw that one, Zach said, I'm not getting that one. Then I don't even look at the screen on these podcasts. There's no reason. I'm like doing errands in the house or working or whatever. But then when someone says something, I'll take a closer look and I'm like, what is Zach talking about? I saw him like, I don't see this one either.
Yeah, it's a hard one to see. But
maybe I'm colorblind in that frequency, but when I
don't think so. I think it's just something that you'll see it in the right contrast. Like, I mean, I did what I could, and when you get the time to do your tests, I would say
I already have it right here. I just can't share the screen and I can't
that's
send it
cool
via email. So
that's cool, man. It's all right.
I'll figure out another way. I'll have somebody else share it for me or something on the next show.
Yeah, we can send it over to Zach and he can do it. Maybe
exactly. Or Zach can do that same edit easily. He's got multiple computers. I'm over here in the Stone Age with iPhone 6 and a tablet.
iPhone 6. Oh my goodness.
Well, you know what you could do too? If you print it out, you can cut that piece and put it next to each other.
Well, that's basically what I did, but just did it on the screen. You know what I mean? So I'm looking at
the screen. All right, when you did that on the screen and it looked different, and then I did it, and you saw that it looked brown, but you're saying it changed color when I slid it over.
As you were dragging, I just totally jumped.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if I would take that and just place it there without dragging, it would be the same color, just like when I dragged it. The only difference was you saw it in real time. You saw the contrast change what you perceived the color to be, but it's the same color, like Mr. X was saying.
What gave it away is the whole square just changed as it does. It's not just it's one of the flaws of like AI. This people what are calling CGI. A lot of times when you're bringing something in to another effect and you're trying to blend something in where you're trying to fool somebody or just you're doing it for an effect for a movie or something, you're doing a cartoon and it doesn't
this program. It isn't AI. This program is a very old program.
It messed up right when you went over the corner because the whole cube changes color. It would have it would have just
Well,
been
well,
either
what I'm saying is,
transitional
right?
or I wouldn't have noticed any change in color. You know
What
what I
I'm
mean?
saying
But
is, right?
it just totally just, and you did it 3 times. You dragged it back over, did the same thing for me every time. And I'm looking at it on 2 different devices, you know?
You're looking at it right here, right?
Uh-huh.
And this is
I'm
where
going to take a screenshot from another third device right now of this screen. And I'm going to do it. I'll do it like this.
You gotta upgrade the iPhone though, man. iPhone 6, that's like 20 years
DJ
ago.
is hilarious.
Every new iPhone you get is just more tracking and more of a slave phone. They were making fun of these phones, like when people were getting them. Like, so do you get your new iPhone 7 Plus Max, or
Hey,
you know?
I'm going in the
line
I'm
for
going
it. Like
I'm going in the
I want a
pod,
flip
so
phone.
I'll get the latest and best.
I want a flip phone.
Yeah.
I want a flip phone.
What's the
I don't
difference?
even know what to say.
That's-
Scribe, what's up, man? Good to see you.
Yo, so I'm testing the phone with the admin thing. So, how's it sound?
Pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, it sounds all right. It's a little different. Yeah,
Yeah, they came on earlier with the regular link and thing that, and then you just logged in the StreamYard, so I can just come on with the admin stuff. So yeah, it seems to work. But yeah, he's so this guy's on the phone. Yeah, it looks completely different on mine on StreamYard. But the share, yeah, there should be like a little dude right there that has the option. Wait, that's if I guess.
it has
I
the
don't
plus
think it's
sign in the
blue.
screen.
I think it's the square.
It's a plus sign with the screen. It looks like a computer screen with a plus sign. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, on the phone, let's see. Plus,
Bye, Scribe. That's quick. Where'd Scribe go?
Yeah, that
Yeah, I just did it from a third device. It's like it's even more so different on this device. It's just like a dark orange versus a lit up brown. It's like a caramel brown, and I even changed the brightness of it. I changed the brightness of the brown to make it way brighter to see if it's just a brightness thing. It's not even the same hue.
well, we already did it in real time.
Yeah.
And now,
Yeah,
you know,
I just did it too in real time right now.
yeah, I mean,
How much realer can it get, right?
yeah, I mean, you got your result that unfortunately you can't show, but I showed a valid result. So whenever you can do that, it's cool. There's no rush.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I'll just get on another show. We can share screen on somebody who has
Kind of like, I think
newer
it came from
devices.
us looking at this, with the 3 different perspectives. And you can't.
Well, I would see this as if you're doing something different than I am, then either I have a version of color blindness or something that I'm not seeing. If that's the case, because it would be impossible.
what exactly?
To see,
Yeah. I want to see if I can see. What exactly are you trying to say?
He's trying to tell me that he can see all 3
every
shadows.
single one of the pictures that he showed, the different color illusions, I can see
This
that
here.
without
He's
even
trying to say this one here.
just the one on the Rubik's Cube where there's an orange and a brown one that appear to be totally different. He's saying those are the same, but so I screenshotted it and edited everything out of the picture and put them together, and it's totally an orange and brown. They're not even close.
I mean, you know what I'm thinking? Maybe it's something with your screen. Maybe your screen has something where
I just did it on three screens, though. I would.
Yeah, just look at it.
What I'm showing you here,
said,
right?
But
The fact that you can't believe this is okay, because the picture on the left, I repeated that picture on the right. So this is a double picture of the same exact picture. The one on the right is covered with white opaque, only showing the 3 squares, showing they're exactly the same
to
color.
me, it does not look the same right now.
No, exactly. So you're okay with believing that. You see what I'm saying?
It's not that I believe that. That's what I see. I'm
No.
come to that
you
conclusion
don't.
because that's what I see.
So you're
now,
telling
if I have
me,
a version of color blindness, that's another thing. But what I am seeing right now is definitely not the same thing. It not even by any stretch of the imagination.
Well, that's a belief.
Not because of any color contrast, illusion, or anything. It's just not the same.
Well, hold on. Well, here's what's probably going on, because I'm using S22 Ultra phone. I'm looking at it. Yeah, I see what you're saying, the orange with the brown, but it could also be his setting for the, the RGB on the monitors and stuff are different. Because at first, I'm looking, it's blue, and he's like, no, that's green. I'm like, dude, I'm looking at it, it's blue. He's like, no, it's green, and he's using a completely different monitor, much nicer monitor. So I'm using a good monitor too, but we're getting different colors for some reason on basic stuff that should be obvious. Yeah. So I can see how this could be, very easily.
I saw this. The YouTube stream on a brand new computer at work, and then 3 different devices that I have. I took a screenshot of it and did the same thing. I didn't do anything on the computer at work because it doesn't have those functions. I'm just opening a side tab with the YouTube, so I'm just watching. But with my 3 devices, one, I just screenshotted it while you were when I rewind back the show, and then I just did it again right now twice on 2 devices. I took a screenshot of the screen, and then I took a screenshot, from another device of that screen to just triple the amount of different perspectives, and it just coming out all the same. I did all the same edits right now just while we were talking.
I think, that's cool. I demonstrated on the art program, and I showed in this demonstration photo that I made as well. And that, to me, and I'm not saying that you're maybe there is something where you see the things differently. People are different.
Well, but scientific tests need to be repeatable before we can.
They are, and they need to be able to be demonstrated like I did. So
I'm unable to do that. Therefore, I got to say, as a scientist looking at it, saying, "Hey,
but you didn't even want to
cannot back up what this other."
But that's not a good example, again, because a lot of those colors can be skewed depending on your settings on your PC or your phone or whatever.
It's just funny that it's just that one, and all the other ones I can see obviously, and that was the only one that Zach pointed out as well. So I'm like, you know what? Yeah, that one's off. That one's just
maybe not everybody's going to get all the illusions. So that's the one illusion that you haven't gotten yet. You see, so all of them are all optical illusions.
Maybe I'm just colorblind, and that the thing is, when I asked the people around me, every single one of them saw it that way too.
You still look. You try to tell me that with all the different perspectives, it makes up for all the shadows. And I'm saying
the perspective that the photo is taken from right now is seeing everything, correct?
No, this thing that you're seeing here is trying to tell you that, okay, from the left and you're looking at it, you're seeing the triangle. And when you were saying the Jesuits and all this other stuff that you and Zach are saying is behind everything, I'm saying, okay, that perspective is from one of these angles. It's not.
No, the Jesuits' perspective is the picture being taken, and all those other smaller.
No.
That's what I'm trying to say. You're not understanding.
You're not, and again, this is just like the other thing. You're not understanding.
And that's all provable, like we said. Beyond the Jesuits, I can tell you it's wide open, but up to the Jesuits, it's very easily explainable, and there's a paper trail for thousands of years.
Look, you're not understanding the parameters of this test here. You can only see this from your perspective. It's letting us know that from all of our perspectives, we have different outlooks. The object is representative of reality. So we're all looking at reality. From one angle, somebody sees a square. From the other angle, somebody sees a triangle. From the top, somebody sees a circle. So now these are loose, right? In between.
Yeah, but you're forgetting about the fourth perspective, which is the one that's being taken, like the one
yeah, but we're not adding.
Now,
see,
it shows that the way we're looking at it, we can see the truth.
The fact
it says
that
this
you
is
can't
true,
even
this is true,
but you're assuming that's the fourth perspective.
Look,
it's the guy who's looking at the square.
Well, it shows you in the picture on the top right there.
No, DJ, this is what I said.
Put that photo up.
You're going to believe.
Put that photo on that you just had it.
No, you're going to believe what you're going to believe.
What I just said. What I just said was proven in that first photo that you just had up there, where it says, "This is true. This is true." But this is the truth.
Yo, Sven is hilarious.
Put that photo back up. let's see what the chat thinks.
Again,
Let's
that's
see
not a
what
good
the
argument.
chat
This
thinks
guy just
about
wants
that.
to
Put
argue, I
that
guess.
photo
I don't
back
know.
up.
Exactly. I know. I understand. It's
Put that
cool.
photo back up. That proves what I'm
No. We're not
saying
going to
is
put
when you're
that back
looking at
up.
it from the
No.
correct perspective, you can.
Look, DJ.
Yeah.
But you're looking
Stonewood.
at the square.
Stonewood.
Yeah.
We're not going to put it back
Dude,
up.
I've already
That
repeated this
photo
guy
said
multiple
you look at it
times
from
that
one
his
angle, you see
monitor.
the
Are you
truth.
listening, dude?
But
This guy
when
don't
you're
listen.
looking at from
His
the other
monitor is
two,
set
you see a
differently. Do you
version
understand
of
that?
it.
Just like my monitor could be slightly off too. There could be some issue there because that's a coloration saturation issue. We don't have control over that. So it's not a good example. A good example would be something in real life that we can look at with our actual eyes and say, okay, let's do a comparison here and look at it.
I'm not even.
There's a-
I don't. At this
The
point,
perfect example was that photo that was just up there, which showed you that one perspective is a version of the truth. The other
Bro,
one
you gotta
is
stop
another
yelling
version
and
of the
let
truth.
MD
But
run the
the
show, dude.
foreground,
You gotta chill, dude. Just chill out. Let him run the show.
Yeah.
Let's not go nuts.
He's got to relax. Now we're going to go forward with the topic. The topic is, do we live in a televised society? And we were talking about a lot of the other stuff with, oh, wow. Sven says that's Count Zacula's lieutenant. We'll fight to the death. I mean, Zach's a cool dude. Zach is a cool dude, man. I mean, so is Stormwood. DJ is a cool dude, man. He just sometimes people, maybe he's drinking, maybe he's having a good time doing something, but it's funny because again, like when I go to talk to this person to look at them as basically a lab experiment, that's how I take this, to say, okay, that was an encounter.
Can I say something, MD?
Yeah, please go ahead.
I'm not going to mention names or anything like that, but I think you're going to understand what I'm saying. But I'm getting a lot of evolutionary vibes. Accept my perspective, or you don't know what the hell you're talking about. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's what the evolutionists say all the time, right?
Yeah, I feel the evolutionary vibe. You're right. Yeah.
So, but I'll leave it at that, because I want collaboration. That's what I really want. So
no,
I'm not here to fight with anyone.
See, that's the thing. It gets to the point where if it's a logical thing, it's saying, okay, let's do it. But when it comes to okay, you want me to do it? Bang. I opened up Sketchbook, did it live right there. Then that wasn't good enough. No, when you moved it across, it changed colors. Okay, fine. Let me cover it, the same picture. I'll just cover it with a white opaque covering, and I'll expose just the cubes, showing that they're all the same color, the squares. I did that. That's not good enough. Oh, you got to do this. Then you start to realize it's kind of like some Daffy Duck type of stuff. It goes. It goes.
Got my iPhone 6. Let me get my other thing.
And you know me, I'm gonna play Bugs Bunny. I'm like, you want to play Daffy Duck? All right, I'm gonna play Bugs Bunny.
That was true, yeah.
And it's like once he started going to the different devices, he's like, yo, you talk about backpedaling.
I don't care what anybody says. We're living on Shutter Island, and I don't want to hear anything else. We are on Shutter Island.
It's so hilarious, man, because see, this is the beauty. Like, some of the best things in life is when you can just laugh, man.
Yeah.
When you can just laugh. Some people, they get mad that you can laugh, because I think Stonewood is still cool. Zach, of course, is cool. He's a genius in gematria.
He's great. Zach is great.
Yo, even Zadzo, whatever the name is, he's saying, I'm coping. Great, man. Bro, I'm so glad. It's like this is a beautiful thing, that you can voice your opinion and have the host be like, hey, great. You look into yourself, look deep into yourself and see what's up,
Right.
Now we on Shelter Island, Jen. We ain't on Plum. We on Shelter. It's like the last stream. Are we all on Shelter Island? So
Shutter Island.
This is Shutter Island. Yeah.
Shelter Island's a very wealthy island. That's where the rich people live.
We're
on the asylum too. We're in the asylum.
In the chat. Holy smokes!
Yeah, that was on this thing. There's a little money sign. Accidentally hit. Like, what is this? And then it did that. Of course, that's part of the StreamYard promotion thing.
Yeah, it definitely close to vivarium. There's no doubt about that. Yeah, man. I think
Wait a minute. Now he's asking about the dating streams. The same guy.
yeah, I guess you know what it is. It's
Was this a
I don't
stat?
know. I think that might be the troll account. It might be the troll account.
MD coping hard with disrespect. I lost all respect for him today, but then he writes, "Scribe, when are we getting back the dating streams?" What's going on here? Is that the same guy?
That's the no. I think that's some. I mean, it could be an alternative account, but who cares? You know, it's like I'm glad that that hey, people voice their opinion, and they can't say that like other streams will censor people for little things. From here, I like people to say what they want. I'd say, look, if you're not threatening or racial slur or doxing, then it's cool. You can
It's
criticize.
not because we don't have backbone. It's because of the stream, the terms of service here. You know what I mean? Remember the old days? We were the lion's den.
I mean, yeah, you know, we used to have a lot of crazy stuff on there, but all it's really does, it doesn't really benefit anything. It's like, you know, for me, even with that, it's like it comes down to no disrespect to DJ. It's saying that, look, you know, who cares? It's like, all right, you don't think that color looks the same.
Right.
All right, great. You know, that's the beauty of saying, hey man, you know, it's not that serious, but it
but it's like you going on breakfast tacos and not agreeing with evolution and then trying to make another point.
Breakfast
They're still gonna come down on you.
You
know
already
what I mean?
know there's nothing you can say to those guys. That whole crew is like fragile.
Yes.
Very fragile evolution. So it's like, you know, anything you say against evolution, any proof that that just destroys the whole theory, they don't even want to look at. So how scientific is that?
Exactly.
You know, and that I noticed, yeah, I did kind of get a little bit of those vibes, man. You're right.
And it's different with me because a lot of times I know you don't agree with my perspectives, but you don't see me getting offended by it or disregarding your other work at all. In fact, I support your other work, completely opposite. You know what I mean? Because I'm firm in my beliefs. I'm okay in my beliefs. I don't need any other people to accept it. It's not, my beliefs are not based on other people's acceptance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, it's true. We're mature enough to be able to have our own perspectives. We know that we're seeing different shadows. You're seeing the circle, I'm seeing the triangle, and we're like, hey, this is what it is. It's okay.
Yeah.
You know, Stonewood, I think, is trying to say that, nah, he's seeing all of that. He's looking at it at this perspective as we're looking at it from the picture.
Right.
And saying, no. The picture is a representation of use of us seeing, like,
yeah, but here's what you're trying to say. Starting off, here's what you're trying to say, because I actually heard someone talk earlier today about this, and it's a very important thing to understand because I see it myself, everyone else as well, is that everyone has a preconceived notion, whether the background is religious or atheist or whatever it is, science, whatever it is. Their preconceived notion only goes to a certain level, and that's pretty much their basically the thing that they're convinced on, that no matter what comes in, no matter what other thing that could alter that comes in, they'll just put it in a separate little category. I'll put that there. Aliens, okay, I'll put that there, but I still believe in Jesus Christ or whatever. Okay, this other thing happened that kind of disproves religion, but you know, I'll just put that there, but I still believe in this because that's my preconceived notion. To where most people cannot say, okay, I'm going to stop and just look at everything and then come up with my hypothesis of what I think is real or not real, and just leave all my preconceived notions on the table, be completely honest with myself, and really look at the evidence and really let the facts lead me, versus these preconceived notions that the majority of people have. So no matter what did you tell them or show them, their preconceived notion will not allow them to enter that arena. They might look at it, they might entertain the idea, but they'll never allow themselves to do that because they don't want to go into that study mode of studying everything and comparing everything and getting real data, that you can prove yourself. So I think that's the biggest fear the majority of people have. They already have a preconceived notion of this. It doesn't matter what you tell them or show them. They're already going to be that way regardless. They're not willing to break everything down and give it a fair chance to see what's going on. So that's a big problem right there. Very few people have that ability.
Yeah, you're right. It's and I should have showed him this, because to let him know, when you see this, and he made a good point in saying, oh no, this is the Jesuits' position. And I'm like, okay, so you actually think somebody's going to see all three, but in reality, I see this one would explain it, saying, look, no, you're only going to see the triangle, like the first picture.
Yeah, and what you're showing is that each side is a preconceived notion. I'm saying there is no side at all. We don't know anything until we can prove it to ourselves, until we do due diligence to actually prove that. Those sides are simply preconceived notions of what I think it might be. I mean, I haven't done my study. I haven't gone out there and actually studied it properly. I haven't properly, done the analysis. That's on the person. So all these things are hypotheses. Everyone's gonna have a different side, square, circle, whatever it is. Until you're saying, no, there's no square, there's no circle. I'm gonna look at all of it and have no preconceived ideas of anything. And I know I grew up atheist or Christian or whatever it is. I'm just gonna put that aside, not even allow that to sway my opinion. And again, most people just cannot do that. They cannot stand truth in the face and understand or want to delve into that and set aside everything they've apparently learned, which is, mostly mind control, ignorance of the world, of what it really is. And unfortunately, that's what it is. But yeah, that's the issue.
Yeah. The whole thing with the televised society that we were talking about earlier, with the guy who wrote the book Amusing Ourselves to Death, made a really good point with media ecology, like the certain environments that media creates. This is a like a term that he used to show the ecological impacts that media has, and when people just end up amusing themselves to death because any type of serious issue is turned into entertainment. And that's what we see. It's total. And he wrote this book, I think, a little over 40 years ago, in the 80s. That's what it says. I'm like, I saw the, because they have the audio book online for free on YouTube, but also I think they had some video, maybe within the last decade. But this guy, I mean, he's dropping it. He's just like, showing how, from going from printed books, and now we're on steroids we went past the ebook to the straight audio books. But they did have cassette, stuff back then too. So, it's not to say that there wasn't stuff, because audio is very easy to listen to a book instead of reading it. But reading it, you get a benefit from that. There is something that you create, like a type of thought. It's like an exercise, as opposed to just listening to it. Not to say that you can't learn from just listening to it either, but there are different benefits. And he's proposing, like, when you switch from the print to the television, to where people, instead of reading, people were still reading the newspaper, but a lot of people switched from the newspaper to watching the news. So it slowly but surely got rid of a percentage of that. And then the whole, how people used to play when they were kids, a lot of outdoor stuff, has been minimized to a point to where it's almost like non-existent. And the kids that do play on the playgrounds, anybody can look at the videos of the playgrounds with those mats, like those rubber plastic like flooring parts, have been shown to cause immune, like kids that don't have those, they removed that and showed the immune system boosted over like 28 days. It took like 1 month for the children's immune system to be very much more active because those rubber things wasn't underneath of the whole playground, because it was stifling the microbiome. So there's so many little things that we don't know that we need to learn about, and little by little we're learning. But you know, in the midst of that, there's a lot of distractions. Yeah, you know, it just. But yeah, the disappearance of childhood is a part of what is paid for with technology. You know, the television had a lot to do with that. He called it the technopoly. Yeah, the technopoly. That's a Postman. Surrendering of culture to technology, and it's happened so slowly. Who was the guy that went straight Manson about it? Kaczynski, right? Ted Kaczynski.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
Unibomb.
he's like, look, he told you. It's like he tried to let people know. It's like, no, he just lost it. You know, it's like, you know, but Postman was talking about certain things, like the technological trade-offs, how it's embedded in all tools as like an ideological bias. Um, you know, the change, it's not just, you know, it's not something added to. It's like ecological. You don't just add new technology, you know, to the mix. You change the environment entirely. And
Yes.
that's what we've seen.
I think we're undergoing a major environmental change right now with these data centers.
Mhm.
I mean, we're going to see eminent domain start taking over. There's going to be some towns that are going to disappear, I think. It's just going to be a complete data center. Some of these older cities, they're just going to wipe them out.
I mean, I can only hope that there are some type. I mean, the regulations. I mean, it's just so ugly, man. I don't even know what to say.
And maybe they need us to be energy too, just like in the Matrix. We're like the hamster on the wheel. And in order for us to be that hamster on the wheel, we got to be in a virtual reality, you know, to be moving along on the wheel, producing energy. I mean, the amount of energy it's going to need is just, it's not going to stop. It's going to want more and more.
Yeah.
I mean, what this looks like and appears to be is like this insane, insatiable speed of tech is so insane. Even me as a tech junkie, I'm just like, you don't have to go that, you don't have to go this crazy, you know, even you know, in biological side as well. Um, so we've pretty much have enough evidence to show that we are some type of a slave thing that requires money to survive. And it seems that the powers that be, or whatever it is, whether it's human or not, is at war with something, and it requires us humans to be creating all this crazy tech extremely quickly and adapt extremely quickly to the point we lose our humanity, don't know how to go outside and play anymore. We're literally on the computer 24/7. We're in the Matrix. So what are these people fighting exactly that's requiring this many resources of this many mind-controlled people in the billions to sustain this crazy war or whatever this is? Because if you compare how many people were here 100 years ago compared to that now, it's insane. Like just 30, 40 years ago, look how many people are like in this, like even in the States or like in Panama, it went from barely 1 million to 5 million right now. That's in Panama, tiny country. And these other countries have exploded. It almost seems like they've allowed a bunch of souls to come in for this particular thing. They need a bunch of these guys on this tech thing to do something, to fight something, to do something that we're not aware of. We're just thinking we're living everyday life, Truman Show style, but at an excessive, insane, rapid speed. And all these things are happening, 9/11, all these things we can't explain, and it leading up to all these things for us to believe. And it's almost like kind of a slap in the face of intelligence when someone actually goes outside that and actually observes what's really going on and can use their brain and actually use common sense. You realize how insane it is. But after observing this thing for this long, it's the only thing conclusion I can come up with is they are preparing us, or been preparing us for a long time, to go to war with some other thing that we don't even know what it is. And
Like
only
the modern
secret
day-
black ops thing knows about it. We don't. How's that?
It's like our modern day Tower of Babel that we're building. It's like we're trying to reach the heavens in a way. With this advanced AI, because this AI is not going to want to stop.
I don't think so. We're out of the curiosity. We're slaves. They already know what that is.
Mhm.
We're the ones wondering what that is because we're going from the point of view of a slave. So they know what that is. They know what UFOs are. They know what Bigfoot is. They know what dog. All these things. It's not any type of. So for us in the dummy world, we're still trying to prove ghosts, even though it's been known for thousands of years and all that stuff. So we're still trying to prove idiocy. And they just give us these equations or whatever. Just stay on this. Keep doing the tech. Don't worry about it. Meanwhile, they're doing God knows what.
Yeah.
And that should be more. I'm understanding from an observation point of view versus a bias point of view where you take sides. Oh, I like Trump, or I like this guy, or I like that guy, or I think it should be done this way or that way. When we MD said it before, like we the smarter you get, the more you realize you know nothing. Like literally, it's like this is so ridiculously covered and suppressed. How can you know anything? When you've been so suppressed your whole life, and when you start using your mind just on basic stuff, oh, those towers felt really weird. Well, why is 80% of it in the air? That's not a traditional explosion. Just basic. You played with blocks when we were kids. We understand basic physics. No, went completely by everyone's head. Nationalized on TV. Beyond any movie or any special effects you've ever seen, you got to see, you got to witness a live, spectacular, not spectacular, but incredible tech. That's so incredible you can't even understand what that was. But to someone who takes common sense says, okay, what does it take to dustify a building, that's made of reinforced steel and concrete and all this stuff? That's where they don't want people to talk about. So, and again, it all falls on deaf ears and common sense, and that's what gets me so much. A lot of this stuff is so like the evolution thing. I think he's reading about so common sense came from monkeys. Whatever. It's like the common sense is just out the door. Believe the whole thing. So you need to look at that too, Mr. X, because you're very, I know you're deeply in the religious thing. I understand that. My dad is as well. But you got to kind of see maybe if there's other possible things, But yeah, I think we're gonna.
Like I say, I'm not trying to force my beliefs on anybody else.
You
If they agree with it, it's fine. It's perfectly fine.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, the other possibilities maybe out there, like the Big Bang stuff, but it looks like anything was going to take off. But yeah, we go ahead and end the show tonight. Unless you had anything else you want to say.
No, we're all good. Thanks for MD for having the show. It's been a great show.
Definitely, man. Always good to have you on, Mr. X. Thanks for keeping them company and stuff. So it's cool.
Good to hear. Again, scribe. Come on more often.
Yeah, most definitely. I'll try. All right. You have a good night. We'll do it again soon.
Have a good night.
All right, take care.